Hi again, everybody. Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos and Jimmy Wilkins, and this is a special pregame show. We're up here at Foxborough. We're in the practice bubble where today Dartmouth will try to defend their state championship as they take on Melrose. Jimmy, they got a tough task ahead. Undefeated is Melrose.
Yeah, Melrose coming in 12-0 in this game, looking for that perfect season. Scored 30 points a game. They got their running back, Mike Pedrino, does a lot of the heavy lifting for them, 20 touchdowns on the year, similar to what Chris Martin gives the Dartmouth offense. So it's going to be a definitely tough task, and the quarterback is shifty. He can move a lot in the backfield as well. So Dartmouth's defense got their hands cut out for them today.
Paul, let's talk about that Dartmouth defense. Melrose scores at 30 a game. Just about every team Dartmouth has played in the playoffs is about the same offensively. High-powered offenses. The Indians, so far in this tournament, has stopped high-powered offenses.
It's true. It doesn't seem to matter what you throw at this Dartmouth defense. They rise to the occasion, whether it's a down-your-throat offense, whether it's one of these wide-open teams. This is more what we've seen during the season in the playoffs, more of a running team, a power team. But the Indians' defense, they've come through every single week. I have to say, from the Dartmouth point of view, I don't see why this week would be any different.
And for Melrose, they have to be keying on Chris Martin. But you've said since we've been up here, outside of this practice bubble, over in the press box, you're really excited about the Dartmouth High School Indian quarterback.
Absolutely. Cole Jacobson coming in, a junior, of course, earning that quarterback position at the very, very beginning of the season. But it's true. I mean, you look at that Milton game, hey, they were keying on Martin. Martin ended up with his 3 touchdowns, of course. But what is it that got the Indians going? It was in the third quarter when Cole Jacobson got that read option going, and it freed up Martin. The offensive line did a great job. That was the key to that game. Look for that today.
You played for Coach White. What do you think the attitude was during the week? Last year, they came in here and won. How do you think he kept the team going to say, like, this doesn't happen all the time?
Yeah, Coach White's definitely the type of coach that it doesn't matter what you did last year or last week. This is a new week. It's a new year. It's a new team. As far as he's concerned, I remember talking to him before the season, and he didn't really want to talk about last year because that was last year. So I'm sure he's had these guys focused all year long. He's had them focused this week and, moving forward to a new game and a new opponent that they're facing.
Well, we just talked to Coach White. He said the team is healthy. They had a good week of practice. So we're ready to go. Hope you enjoyed this pregame show, and we'll see you over at the stadium in just a minute. You're looking at the home stadium of the New England Patriots, Gillette Stadium, where today the Dartmouth High School Indians look to defend their Division III championship against Melrose. Deja vu, Paul Santos. It was Melrose and Dartmouth last year. The Indians totally outplaying them in the first half, hanging on to win that game 14-7. Melrose comes in with a record of 12-0. The Indians 10-2. Here we are again, my friend.
And here's the Dartmouth Indians on the field already. Has to be exciting for those young players being out of the same field as the New England Patriots play week in and week out. Class organization here. The Indians holding themselves well, of course, winning that championship last year. And yeah, it is a little bit of an interesting wrinkle, I suppose, that they are playing the same exact team as last year. Melrose, that 14-7 game that you talked about. And this year, they're coming in undefeated. And, of course, they have to be thinking a little bit about last year's game. I know in talking to the coaches, they say, well, we just want to win. Of course, that's true. But if you're a competitive athlete and you're coming back here and you see Dartmouth on the other side of the sideline, I mean, that's what you want. You want another crack at Dartmouth, and they'll get it today here at Gillette.
And Melrose will get another crack at Chris Martin. Last year in the 14-7 win over Melrose, Martin rushed for 215 yards in 1 touchdown. So in order to Melrose to win this ball game today, Paul, they have to stop the Indians, number 28.
No question. Yeah, sensational year so far, 259 carries, over 1,500 yards rushing. That's 6 yards per carry. And, of course, the 25 touchdowns on the season, 3 big ones in the state semifinal game against Milton.
And for Milton High School, this is their second appearance in the past 32 years. Obviously, last year losing to Dartmouth 14-7, as Coach Rick White's going to lead his Indians out to the 40-yard line, where they will square off against Melrose. They'll get a chance to stare into each other's eyes, Paul, before the kickoff. For Dartmouth High School, they've had 3 state titles, and last year was their first one in 30 years. So before we get to some more pregame stuff, let's honor this great country of ours. It's a national anthem. So as each team gets ready to go to their respective sidelines, Paul, what's the keys to this Super Bowl matchup here this evening?
Well, a lot of similarities between Melrose and Dartmouth, and it comes, of course, with the two running backs. We talked about Chris Martin, 25 touchdowns on the season, but Melrose, they got their key guy, and his name is Pregame, and he has 10 touchdowns on the season. I think it's going to be a battle between those two guys. 20 touchdowns for Pregame, actually. So it's going to be a battle between those two real key running backs. How about the quarterback play? We've got Cole Jacobson, can throw the ball. In the Milton game, got that quarterback option going, and that really helped the Indians in the third quarter to beat Milton. They have a quarterback that can run the ball. Julian Nyland, he's got 10 rushing touchdowns, 9 throwing. And, of course, the Indians and Melrose got to play mistake-free football, and that's always important here, especially in a championship game.
And especially the quarters are not 11 like in the regular season. They are 4 10-minute quarters. Possessions are a key, I think, in this ball game. Melrose won the coin toss prior to the game over the Patriots practice bubble. They deferred.
Yeah,
and in my opinion, I'm not so sure. That gives Dartmouth perhaps an extra possession.
Yeah, right. In a short game, you talked about it, 11-minute quarters ordinarily during the regular season, but head coach Tim Morris, 20 years coaching Melrose High School. He decides to do the old Bill Belichick, give the Indians the ball first, hope to stop them, and then maybe they get the ball to start the second quarter, which they will. Maybe that'll turn out to be important. I guess we'll see.
Heads and tails. I'm going to toss it in the air, Jared. It's going to hit the ground. Before I do that, you're going to tell me whether you want heads or tails. He's looking for heads, Mr. Coleman.
Heads is the call.
It is a heads. Melrose is one to toss. Dartmouth, you're going to take the football, correct?
You can choose the side of it.
You guys are going to choose the side of the field when you hit the field. You're not going to decide which way you're going to kick until you get on the field. We're going to have about 7 minutes the time you take the field until we kick off, so you'll be able to make a decision in regards to the wind or whatever the situation is that you're comfortable with. You'll tell us then which way you're going to kick. And as we're standing, Melrose deferred their option to the second half. Dartmouth's going to receive to start the game. Good luck once again from all of us guys. Wish each other luck.
So we are set here to call all the action from Gillette Stadium. I'm Jim Thompson alongside Paul Santos and, of course, Andrew Thompson up here in the booth doing the spotting here this afternoon. What perfect weather conditions. Game time temperature around 54 degrees. Bright, clear skies. I'm sure the lights are on, and this game will end in darkness, that's for sure. But what a sight and what an opportunity for Dartmouth High School to return once again. And on your screen to the left there, that's the Dartmouth High School rooting section. So we'll see a lot of them. And we have a young man, Jimmy, down on the sideline as well. He'll be reporting in throughout the game.
Yeah, that'll be great. Something a little different that we added in the Super Bowl game here today. So we'll be looking forward to those sideline reports at the end of each quarter. Taking a look at the Dartmouth Indians on offense, and we'll see them on offense first. We talked about Jacobson. Can run for touchdowns, can pass the ball, a real calming personality, which has been a big help to this offense. Chris Martin, the 25 touchdowns. Jack Sullivan scores on offense, scores on defense. You name it, he does it. And then, of course, on offense, on the line, these guys have been blocking all year. And how about the kicker, Liam Caulfield? He can put the ball through the uprights in the clutch. 3 field goals on the season. And, of course, he can kick those all-important extra points. Hey, Milton couldn't kick the ball. Dartmouth could. That's why they won the game. There was one reason that they won the game.
Yeah, obviously one of the reasons as we look along the Melrose sideline, this game being cablecast, I think it's Comcast up in Boston that's doing all the Super Bowl games here today, so I'm sure we're waiting for the advertisements to finish and waiting for them to get their broadcast team ready to go to call this Division III state championship game, a rematch. Dartmouth High School, the home team today in their green and white uniforms. Melrose, the visitors, white uniforms, red numerals. Coach Rick White, talked to him before the game, said the team practiced hard all week. All the kids are healthy, and they're ready to go. Couldn't wait to get this ball game started.
It's funny when you think back now, the Indians 0-1 at the beginning of the season, Jim, and somewhere in the middle of the season, you started to get the feeling that, hey, maybe these guys could get back here. Came together in the middle of the season against those Division I opponents, and here we are again. the Indians with a chance to defend last year's Super Bowl championship.
Tisdale, Adams, and Martin back deep. And it's going to come up to Marquise Adams. And Adams starts to the right side. Marquise has got running room. He's up over across the 35 and out to the 38-yard line. Dartmouth will have its first possession in this Super Bowl championship game. They're led by their quarterback, Cole Jacobson, 7 TDs on the season. Only threw 1 interception in the passing game, and he's rushed for 3 more. The Indians averaged 28 points a ball game, and the Melrose defense only gives up 10. But as Paul said, they're mirror images. We saw this against Plymouth North. We saw this against DR. 2 teams very similar. We'll see how this goes. And so goes Martin. He's up across the 40 and out to the 42-yard line. Gain of 4 for Chris. And that was Cam Hickey making the tackle for Melrose.
Of course, Chris Martin getting the first handoff of the game. No surprise there, taking the ball up the middle for minimal gain. 1,500 yards rushing this season, 25 touchdowns. Has been a real powerhouse for the Dartmouth Indians all season long.
And this is Jacobson off the ball fake, and Cole has a first down. Jacobson's down to a 41-yard line of Melrose. Brian Mercer from his defensive line position in pursuit to make the tackle, but not before Jacobson picks up a first down. And Paul, this is what you've alluded to, the maturation of this young man from the quarterback spot.
Yeah, one of the keys to the game, the ability of the quarterbacks to run the ball. Their guy can run it too, but I like Jacobson. That's about a 16-yard gain. We saw it in the third quarter in the Milton game. That was a game changer when he started running the ball. You fake to Martin, everybody freezes on Martin, and all of a sudden there goes Jacobson. Nice to see the big gain.
Pitch it to the near side. Martin scampers down to the 35-yard line. Gain of 7 on first down. Colin Casey from his linebacker position makes the play for Melrose.
Well, let's take a look at the pitch here to Martin. Such a fun back to watch play. He hits the hole very quickly, cuts left, cuts right, another big gain. Indians 3 plays, moving the ball, 2 first downs already. And Jacobson and Martin bringing the offense into enemy territory.
Tisdale in motion, and this is Martin. Martin cuts it to the outside. Chris has got a block. He's down the sideline. Chris Martin's going to go down and in for a touchdown. No flags. So the Indians take the opening kickoff and march it down the field with that young man right there, the team's leading touchdown maker and rusher, Chris Martin. And the Indians take the early lead at 6-0.
About this, a 36-yard touchdown run for the senior tailback, Chris Martin, cutting left, cutting right. They say he's tough to get down. Well, there's a good example of it there. The enemy coaches all year have said, how are we going to stop this guy? Well, there he goes, very early in the game, early in the first quarter. 36-yard touchdown run. The Indians on the board first.
Caulfield now for the point after touchdown. It's up and no good. He's been money all season. And that one just flooded up there and didn't get through. So we look on at the Dartmouth faithful that's driven up 60 miles from Dartmouth. The Indians take the first possession, and Chris Martin goes in for the touchdown.
How about that, 1 minute and 50 seconds or so? The Indians into the end zone. It was only a 4-play drive. Martin carried the ball 3 times. The third, of course, was the touchdown run of 36 yards. But how about Jacobson right in the middle of that? The read option, gaining 16 yards and going into the end zone eventually was Martin for the touchdown. So we'll see what the other team's going to do. Of course, Melrose getting up there now, but I'll tell you, I was watching the kid run on tape. His name is Pedrini. You're going to see a lot of him, of course. He's number 5. Mike Pedrini, 20 touchdowns on the season. And their quarterback likes to run the ball too, Julian Nyland. He's got 10 rushing touchdowns and 9 touchdown passes. I'm sure the Melrose coach, Tim Morris, knows that one of the keys to his game is not only Pedrini, but also getting the quarterback, Julian Nyland, running, as the Indians have just done with Jacobson.
So the Indians with the lead of 6-0, they'll kick it off, and Pedrini and Tyler are back deep, and this is Pedrini, and he thinks about it. Now he's going to run it out from his own 2. And it's a smart decision by the young fella as he gets across the 20 and out to the 22-yard line. 24-yard return. 1st and 10 now for Melrose.
How about these guys? They've been doing it all year long. The Indians only giving up less than 9 points a game. Marks, Smilek, Foley, DeMello, Sullivan, and McCabe. I mean, that is a mean defense in green for the Dartmouth Indians. And in the secondary, Smith all year, Tisdale, Espandola, Craig, Adams, and, of course, Craig. I got Craig up there twice, actually. Hey, it's almost like he's out there twice a lot of times. But great defense, great secondary. We'll see if they can deliver here in the Super Bowl.
Julian Nyland is the quarterback, and this is Jay Tyler. Ran right into McCabe. Makes the tackle. Credit the runner with a 2-yard gain. 2nd down and 8. I told before the game, Paul, that Tyler is a track star, runs the 220, and he runs it well.
Yeah, champion in the Middlesex League, all Middlesex League. So he'll be trying to utilize his speed today against the Dartmouth defense if he can.
They come out and spread the field. They're going to throw to the football. They complete it here to the near side. Ryan Sensulo on the reception. And Marquise Adams. It's a good look at Marquise. Makes the tackle, but not before Melrose picks up the 1st down.
Nice little pass to the flat that time. Nyland comfortable in the pocket. Gets it out to Sensulo. Picks up a nice gain there, getting their 1st down on only 2 plays from scrimmage. So nice little mix up there. We haven't seen them pass it a lot. They'll pass about as much as the Indians do. That time spreading it to the flat. A successful gain and a 1st down.
See Pedrini up there in the slot. Where's number 5? And this is the quarterback off the play fake, and Nyland gets whacked in the backfield. McCabe along with Jack Sullivan.
That's a loss of about 4 yards, and a great job that time by McCabe and Sullivan. Look at the pursuit here, and here's a guy, he ran a touchdown last game in the state semifinal, 65 yards. He can break the big one. The Indians say we're having none of that. Right through the gap, and they bring the very talented quarterback for about a 3-yard loss.
So they feature Pedrini as the runner. Now they're going to throw the quick screen out to him. The Indians read it well. And coming across was Alex Tisdale. So that's a way to get the ball into Pedrini's hands. He's an outstanding tailback, Paul, but it seems in this game he's been in the slot, and this time here just throwing it out to the little bubble screen that the Indians defense well. It's a gain of a yard. 3rd down and 12 for the Melrose High School team. Nyland, he's got time, plenty of it, throws far side, receiver fell down, as did the defender, and it falls incomplete. That was Brendan Foley back there in coverage.
Well, this is nice to see here. The Indians with a nice job of coverage there. Obviously, you have the player falling down, which hurt the play. We'll take a look at it again. Here's Nyland in the pocket. He had a pretty good amount of time, as Jim alluded to, but when he threw the ball, there was some problem there. It looked like number 5 was trying to get loose Pedrini and wasn't able to get over there. So the Indians will be getting the ball back quickly.
There's a high, short kick. Adams fields it. Gets taken down immediately at the 45-yard line.
So Melrose only running 5 plays that time. And they only got 1 first down. They did it quickly. They get a run from Tyler and a nice pass completion by Nyland for a 10-yard gain to Sensulo. But then after that, it was one loss after another. Indian defense, which is well known around the state in Division III, coming up big. Now the Indians with their 2nd possession. They've got great field position at their own 45.
2nd possession of this game for Dartmouth High School. Here's Martin. Skips over one tackler and forces his way out to the 49 with Dan Willett, defensive tackle, makes the play for Melrose, but another nice gain for Chris Martin, Paul, gain of 4.
Yeah, 6 yards per carry on average on the season, and we really saw him go to work in the playoffs against such great opponents like Plymouth North and like Dighton Rehoboth, and of course in the Milton game, ended up with 3 touchdowns, including a 55-yard game changer at the end. He's been doing it all season long.
And he'll give it to him again. Why not? He's in Melrose territory, taken down at the 47-yard line. The linebacker, Jared Patello, coming up to get Chris to the ground. Martin's very close to that first down he was looking for. He's going to be about a yard short.
We talked at the beginning of the game about how the quarters are only 10 minutes, right? Not 11 like during the season. That means the game is going to be 4 minutes shorter. I'll tell you, if the Indians can continue to move the ball on offense here, on the ground, take time off the clock, a lot of ball control, they figure out to be big when it comes around to the fourth quarter.
Third down here for the Indians. And here's Martin again. Just keep feeding the big horse, and he's going to be very close. They spot it where that top official is. He's going to have it. They move the chains across the way. Kristen Perkins credited with the stop, but not before number 28 picked up another Indian first down.
And you can see the nice blocking up there. You saw Sullivan really pushing his way through. And, of course, the offensive line all season long, Colin McCabe really pushing one of the defensive tackles out of the way to give Martin that little extra room to get the first down. So it's 3 runs by Martin. The Indians' second possession, and the Indians in business with a first down.
Chris comes out of the game, and the Indians come out with a different type of formation, but they fake the jet sweep, and that's Jacobson, Cole Jacobson, down inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. So they fake the jet sweep. They take Martin out of the game, and the young quarterback takes it into Melrose territory.
Again, this was a big key in the state semifinal game against Milton, kind of in the first couple of quarters. All the yardage was hard yardage. It was all 5 yards and 4 yards and that kind of thing. And then in the third quarter, started using Jacobson to complement Martin, and then the big yardage started coming. Great to see the quarterback running the ball.
Here's Chris to the near side. Bounces it outside, now cuts it back, looking for the 35. He's got it. Tommy Calvert, strong safety for Melrose. Bring up third down now, and let's see. No, they're going to move the chains to be a first down. Let's see, Paul. First down, Indians.
All right, another first down. You see Martin. We saw him up the middle a bunch of times. How about along the side where he's deking left and right, cutting left and right, really fooling all those defenders trying to tackle him. Very hard to bring down. Yet another first down for the Indians. The second one on their second drive of the game.
Just under 3.5 to play in the opening quarter. 10-minute quarters here in Super Bowl action. They just keep giving it to Martin. And Chris lowers his head and cracks it down to the 34-yard line. Colin Casey, linebacker for Melrose. Shortest run of the game for Chris, only a yard.
Yeah, most of the time it's been 3, 4, 5, even 8 yards from Martin. And we talked about the clock all the way down, under 3 already here in the first quarter. And the Indians taking up most of the time off the clock, with only Melrose running 5 plays in the first quarter so far.
This game's similar to the way it started last year. Dartmouth dominated the entire first half. Jacobson throws it out in the flat. He's got Caulfield. Caulfield escapes one guy and gets down inside the 20, down to the 16-yard line. Alex Burton, the corner on that side, making the tackle.
That's about an 18-yard pass completion from Colin McCabe to Liam Caulfield. What a dangerous player he's been all season long on both sides of the ball. 5 catches, 112 yards coming into today's game with 2 touchdown receptions. A real tool in the toolbox there to get the ball into the hands of Caulfield. Another Indian first down.
First and 10, Dartmouth. Here's Tisdale. Alex looking for running room and grabbed by his shirt sleeve there by Dan Roulette, who got him around the jersey, spun him around, got him down. A gain of 1 for Tisdale. Second down and 9, and as Paul alluded to, the Indians just chewing up a lot of clock. Last year, the 14-7 victory, first quarter was the same way. Dartmouth controlled actually the first half. Remember, they were down here at the 1-yard line as time ran out in the end of the first half, nearly scored. Then neither team scored in the second half. The Indians held on for a 7-point lead. Here's Chris looking for running room. They box him in and going to get him for a yard loss. Cam Hickey, the defensive end for Melrose, prevented Chris from picking up any extra yardage. So the Indians now looking at third down and 9 yards to go.
Nice job that time by Cameron Hickey. He's a senior, 6'2", 205 pounds. Really charging the sideline there and bringing Martin down for very little gain. You don't see that too often when you're watching Chris Martin run. So big opportunity here now for Coach Tim Morris at Melrose. You're already down by a score of 6-0. The Indians have the ball in the red zone where they've been successful all year long. Real big stop needed here by Melrose from their point of view. And, of course, the Indians, a great opportunity to take control in the first quarter.
Dane Ashton to the near side as a wide out. Martin stands behind Jacobson. And here goes Martin. Martin cracks inside the 10 down to the 5-yard line and picks up a first down. Jared Botello from his linebacker spot making the play for Melrose. So it'll be first and goal here for the Indians from the Melrose 6-pole.
I was just going to say a 3rd and long, right? You give it to Martin, he reels off 10 yards like no problem, right? Just follow the offensive line. The Indians deep in enemy territory at the 6-yard line.
Matt Craig to the top of your screen. Alex Tisdale to the left. Martin straight ahead. They stand him up down there at the 3-yard line. Gang tackle there. Host of Melrose players, including Botello and Casey and Mercer. Gain of a couple. Spot the football at the Melrose 3-yard line. 2nd and 3 for Dartmouth High School. 15 ticks left on the stadium clock. Martin back to the line of scrimmage. End of the first quarter. Branchero makes the stop. And that'll do it at the end of 1 with the Indians threatening a score from Foxborough. Dartmouth High School 6, Melrose nothing.
1 quarter through the books, and so far so good for Dartmouth. They've controlled the ball on offense, moving down the field easily on their first drive. 36-yard touchdown run by Chris Martin, and then now on their second drive, just steps away from the end zone, 3 yards out. A couple nice defensive series mixed in as well. Everything looking good for Dartmouth here. Back to you, Jim.
All right, back out here at Gillette Stadium. The Indians have a 3rd down and goal from just outside the Red Raider 3-yard line. Indians scored in the first quarter on the very first possession as Chris Martin ran it in from 36 yards out. Caulfield's point after touchdown was no good. But to start the second quarter, the Indians in good shape. They should have 2 downs to get this in, Paul.
Absolutely, and you got to figure, what are the chances of stopping them here? I mean, you got to like Dartmouth's chances, especially with a lot of the weapons. You see they gave the ball to Martin 4 times in a row. So now they're starting to key on Martin a little bit. Maybe you give it back to Martin. That's certainly fine, but a couple of other things you can do. There's a lot of weapons they can go to here, you know, down when they're this deep in enemy territory. So at the 3-yard line, we'll see if they stay with Martin or if they throw a little wrinkle and do something else.
Melrose just gives up 10 points a game. They're undefeated with a record of 12-0. And on the offensive side of the football, they average 30 a game. So the Indians have their hands full, but they're threatening here to start the second quarter. Here's Jacobson. Caulfield's in there, number 27. He's the blocking back. Martin behind Jacobson. Quick count. Here goes Martin. Martin is down and in. Touchdown. No? They say he's down at the 1-yard line, half-yard line.
So it's going to come down to a 4th and goal at the 1. I'm actually looking at where it's put. It looks like it's less than the 1.
That is very close.
Take a look at it again, see if we can pick it up on the replay. I don't know. It looked like his forward progress. All you need is the nose of the ball to get in there, but they spotted it at the 1-yard line. So 4th and goal at the 1.
4th and goal. Here's Martin. And Martin's not going to make it in. They stand him up at the goal line. So what looked like a Dartmouth touchdown was taken off the board, and on 4th and inches, Melrose stands him up at the goal line, and they'll take possession of the football from just inside their 1. There's Coach Tim Morris looking on. He's going to be very happy with his defense. We looked at the replay. It looked to me Martin was in.
Well, the one before especially, absolutely. It looked like it was really close. Didn't get the ball spot there. But there you see Martin. They just kind of went with him. They gave it to him 6 times in a row. And they just kept keying on him and keying on him. He wasn't able to get in, so he had some field position issues right here, though. He didn't get in, but the Red Raiders starting from the 1 yard line.
They're going to throw it from there. And they throw it down the middle of the field, and no one is out there. Pass was intended for Ryan Sensulo. 2 Indians out there defending against him, and second down and 10 now for the Red Raiders. I'm Jim Thompson along with Paul Santos. Andrew Thompson doing the spotting. You're watching the Championship Division III contest here from Foxborough.
I suppose head coach Tim Morris thinking, all right, we're not going to waste time here at the 1 yard line. We're going to come out throwing and try to throw something over the middle for a 15 or 20 yard gain. Not successful. Second down and long.
Indians crowding the defensive front, and Jack Sullivan hurdles over would-be blockers and gets the runner down to the ground for no gain, and we've seen that all season long.
Jack Sullivan has just been sensational on both sides of the football. Of course, we talked about him offensively with the 10 catches, 203 yards and receptions, 3 touchdowns. Defensively, 3 interceptions, 3 pick sixes, a fumble recovery that was returned into the end zone a few weeks back, which was a real killer in that game against, I believe it was Dighton Rehoboth. So here he is, playing on defense, playing on offense, a real big-time contributor. Is the senior Jack Sullivan.
Jay Tyler is the running back. That's Pedrini down the bottom of your screen. Here comes the rush. Throws far side, just throws it away. Heavy rush applied there by the Dartmouth defensive front. And now Melrose on 4th down is going to have to kick it from the back line of the end zone.
Usually it looks like you have something lined up, and you see Nyland here deep in the end zone, of course, which makes it difficult. Big pass rush, but that ball was well overthrown. It looked like it might have been a problem with the route. Alex Burton, the senior, was back there, number 11, but really isn't anybody that was that close to where the ball was thrown.
Tisdale and Adams, and this is Tisdale. Tisdale starts to the far side, trying to square his shoulders, but he's got a nice return down to the Melrose 30-yard line. A short kick, a heavy rush by the Indians. Antonio DiFranzo made the tackle for Melrose. We look on at the Dartmouth sideline. This game eerily similar to last year, where Dartmouth had Melrose in check, and they only put up 14 points. They could have scored 28 last year, Paul, in the first half. They got great field position again from the 21-yard line, 1st and 10.
Just sensational. Of course, a lot of this was the fact that the ball was down at the enemy 1 yard line when they turned the ball over on downs. They got great field position on the punt, but a nice 15-yard return by Alex Tisdale on special teams helped move that ball deeper into enemy territory.
Here's Jacobson off the ball fake to Martin, and Cole's out for a yard. Second down and long now for the Indians. Brian Mercer. Mercer's been on a couple of stops already in this game as Cole gets the call from his head coach. Seems like after that first series, Melrose perhaps changed some of their defense, because they seem to be playing, especially their front seven, seem to be a little bit tuned in a little bit more in this Dartmouth running game. The opening possession, Dartmouth was just ripping him for big gains. Here's the ball fake. Jacobson throws. Got a man out there. Incomplete. Broken up at the last moment by Alex Burton, as Jack Sullivan had space back there, but just broken up at the last moment.
We'll take a look at number 11, Alex Burton. He's a 5'11", 165-pound defensive back, and he just got there at the last second, reached up and put his hand in front of the ball in front of Caulfield. Caulfield, a dangerous receiver on the season, 5 catches, 112 yards, a couple of touchdown receptions, but this time it's Burton reaching up and making the play in the defensive backfield for Melrose. That was a big play for them. Sets up a 3rd and long.
Pitch it to Martin. Chris looking for running room, and Melrose defense rising to the occasion. Maybe a yard. Colin Casey not allowing Chris to advance the football. 4th down and 8 now for the Indians.
Last year, the Indians getting off to that big start that you talked about a little bit earlier. Indians get that 14-0 lead at the half last year. Melrose kind of hung around even though they were outplayed. Melrose is hoping that will happen again, that they'll be able to kind of hang in there. But how about this? 4 down territory. This is a big, big play in the game early on.
And throughout these playoffs, Dartmouth has been very good on 4th down. Jacobson throws near sides, completed to Craig. Craig's inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. 1st down, Dartmouth. Back in coverage was Cameron Hickey, but not before. Matt Craig and Paulies have come up with some big catches. The Indians been fantastic in the playoffs on 4th down.
I'll tell you, in 4th down situation, you want to get the ball into the hands of number 10, Mr. Clutch, Matt Craig. We saw it in the Milton game, that 4th and 5. He had the one-handed catch, brought that down. He also had the touchdown reception earlier in that state semifinal game. You need the ball. You need to make a pass on 4th down. Get it to Matt Craig, and he'll deliver.
Martin. They had him defensed along the far sideline. Mike Pedrini. We haven't heard much from Pedrini on offense. There he showed up from his quarterback spot to get Martin out of bounds. 2nd down now in goal. So this is the second opportunity in goal offense. Can the Indians convert this time down? Last time, 4th and 1, they were stopped. But they're knocking on the door again. Come out in that diamond look. Ball fake. Throwing. Corner. Well defensed. Matt Craig was the intended receiver. Tommy Calvert, strong safety, back in coverage. So the Indians now looking at 3rd and goal.
And we saw this before. The last drive that the Indians had, even though they didn't get into the end zone, they actually ran off 15 plays. They got it down inside the 10-yard line. They just kept pounding away, pounding away. So you had Coach Rick White and the rest of the Dartmouth Indians on the sideline. Will they try to do something a little different this time? We'll see. 3rd down situation in the red zone.
Here's Chris Martin off left tackle. Maybe a yard. 4th down and goal now. Dan Willett in there to make the tackle, along with Botello. And the Indians. Now it's 3rd down. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. It is 4th down. Sorry about that.
They're thinking about a field goal.
The spot, and we're going to do a field goal here.
Well, the Indians have had great field goal kicks all year. Liam Caulfield with a lot of extra point kicks and 3 field goals during the course of the season. 1 for 21, 1 for 22, and 1 for 29.
Here's Caulfield, missed the extra point earlier. Craig can't handle the snap. Craig now throws it, crossfield. It's caught by Sullivan. And the Indians will turn it over once again. As Matty Craig, it's a low snap back from center, so they've had 2 premier opportunities. Has the offense. We'll look on at this. Just not finishing.
Well, again, right, the ball was snapped. It was fumbled. It wasn't a clean snap. Craig picked it up, and first thing I was thinking about was the Bridgewater-Raynham game. You don't want to see something bad happen like Melrose get the ball and run it back like happened in that game. So, unfortunately, they can't get in, and they've got Melrose pinned in their territory again.
Here's Pedrini, the ball carrier, his first carry of the game, and he ran right into outside linebacker Nate DeMello.
If you're Melrose, you have to be thinking, okay, we've been outplayed pretty badly here in the first half of the game. The Indians have had the ball so much more than we've had the ball. We've only had a couple of possessions. Ran off 5 plays the first time, only 3 and out the second time. But yet we're only down 6-0. An opportunity to move the ball into midfield and really get something going against the Indians.
Ball fake to Pedrini. Here's quarterback Nyland. His first carry of the game, and Nyland's going to be about 4 yards short of the first he was looking for. Brendan Foley credited with the tackle for the Indians.
Well, last week in the Danvers win, which is the state semifinal, the game actually before Thanksgiving, he ran off a 65-yard touchdown run. So the quarterback can definitely run the ball. Decided to give it to him that time. A pretty good gain there of about 7.
Nyland's got to get rid of it quickly out there on the flat. It's caught. And advancing it out to the 30-yard line in a first down is Ryan Sensulo. Nate DeMello back in coverage. That's the first down for Melrose in this game.
16-yard pass completion that time from the quarterback Nyland to Sensulo. We saw him pass the ball to him earlier in the game, this time for a big first down as the ball being moved out of their own territory. I think Melrose, they've really been plagued with bad field position during the course of this whole game, especially in the second quarter. They're happy to have that ball up at their own 29.
It's Pedrini in motion. Now they're going to pitch it back to the quarterback. He throws downfield, and it's caught down here at the 41-yard line. A little trickery. That was caught in the Indian secondary by Cam Hickory.
Well, this is a 31-yard pass completion from Nyland to Hickory. And the ball almost looked like it was partially underthrown, but Hickory, he manages to leap up and kind of use his athleticism. 6'2", 205 pounds, one of the co-captains, a senior. Huge reception for this Melrose team.
1st and 10 Melrose now from the Indian 40. Tisdale had a good shot at that. The Indians, just things aren't breaking their way here. It's Pedrini. Marquise Adams chasing him out of bounds. We may have a holding call. This may be coming back. No flag on this.
So things are changing a little bit here. You know, the Indians getting off to that quick 6-0 lead. The 36-yard touchdown run by Chris Martin, a couple of times deep in enemy territory, can't get in. All of a sudden, Melrose coming back now, looking to try to tie the game up here.
And here's Pedrini off the ball fake. This is Nyland. Nyland skips through a couple of tacklers and is going to be 2 yards short of the first down. Luke Espandola got him to the ground, so it'll bring up 3rd down and less than a yard as Melrose's offense starting to kick into gear.
Well, you take a look at Julian Nyland. He's got about 700 yards rushing on the season for this Melrose team, and he eludes that first tackle in the backfield and then ends up running the ball for a very nice gain. A 3rd and short. Melrose offense getting more in gear in this second quarter.
Under 2.5 to play. That's Tyler, the ball carrier. He's going to be very close to the first down. Foley and McCabe making the stop. Take a good look there at Jay Tyler. Actually going to be half a yard short. So now the Indians with an opportunity. Melrose has stopped them from the 1-inch yard line. Now about the same here for Melrose, except the Indians are going in for 7. Melrose is just looking for the first down. Nyland under center. He advances it for the first down.
Well, Julian Nyland doing the old Tom Brady. A quick quarterback sneak. He knows the count, gets off the ball good, and he ends up getting the 1 yard necessary to keep this Melrose drive going. It's 1st and 10 inside the 30, and you'll see it here. Number 20, Julian Nyland, all league in Middlesex. 6'1", 180-pound senior, getting the first down, and a timeout here by Melrose and their head coach, Tim Morris.
You know, I had alluded to it a bit earlier. This game started just like last year. It was all Dartmouth. All Dartmouth. They've had plenty of opportunities here in the first half. Capitalized on the opening drive and uncharacteristically missed the point after touchdown. The defense doing what they do best. Had Melrose pinned, field position all Indians. A little trickery here. Get the ball in Indian territory. And a chance to take the lead before the half ends.
They got off to such a great job in that first quarter. It almost felt like it was too easy. You know, the Indians going down there, getting that touchdown from Chris Martin, and only 4 plays from scrimmage. 36-yard touchdown run by Martin. And then Melrose couldn't do anything with the ball the first 2 times they had the ball. The Indians ran off a 15-play drive, which died at the 1 yard line. Couldn't get in, though. Then when they got the ball back, they failed, I don't know, around the 10-yard line or so. So 2 times the Melrose defense really came up big. And then the second time when they were buried deep in their own territory on offense, this time they started moving the ball quickly. They were throwing the ball a little more, and they managed to put together a very nice drive. This is a 9-play drive that's still going late in the first half.
1st and 10 Melrose. Nyland being chased, throws it out in the flat, incomplete. Down there at the 25-yard line, Jack Sullivan there for the Indians.
Watch the timing of Sullivan here. There's a quarterback rolling out. Look at this perfect timing right here. He's bobbling it, But then Sullivan was right there to get the hit to kind of finish off the play. I mean, it wasn't a clean reception to begin with, but then the play of Sullivan to make sure that he wasn't going to bring that ball in, breaks it up, and it's an incomplete pass for Melrose.
Will Branchero had it right between the numbers. Perhaps heard Jack's footsteps, couldn't hold on to it. 2nd and 10 for Melrose. Nyland. Got time, throws over the middle, he's got a man, that's Pedrini, and Pedrini's down to the 5-yard line. First and 10, Red Raiders. Tisdale makes the tackle, with Melrose now threatening, Paul.
That's a 24-yard pass play from Nyland to number 5, Mike Pedrini. And a very nicely executed play. Pedrini found himself open in the middle of the defensive backfield there for the Indians. It comes at a big time for Melrose, and they're in business.
Melrose having success throwing the ball against this Indian defense. Here's Pedrini. They've held him in check. Jack Sullivan makes the tackle along with McCabe. Just about a minute to play here in the half. Dartmouth faithful looking on.
Nice to see that huge crowd coming up here today to watch the game. A nice turnout on the Melrose side as well. Perfect weather conditions, huge crowd up here rooting on their respective teams.
Nyland throws, end zone. Pedrini doesn't get in. That's picked off by Sullivan. Jack Sullivan picks it up and returns it to the 21-yard line. Oh, they're going to call it incomplete. Well, the referees are talking now, and I guess they're going to bring this back.
Well, let's see what we can pick up here on the replay. There's the quarterback, Nyland. Looks like he has Pedrini open, but here comes Sullivan. He hits him. I don't think the ball ever went down to the ground. Sullivan takes the ball, returns it about 17 yards up the left sideline. But they are not ruling it an interception.
I'd like to look at that again if we get an opportunity. Martin obviously scored in the first half in this game. They took the touchdown off the board, and now
it looked like the ball bounced. I'm getting another replay from another angle, and it looked like the ball bounced onto the ground behind Sullivan.
Here's Nyland looking. Pedrini, touchdown Melrose. With 28 seconds to go. In a very strange first half.
So a 7-yard touchdown pass from the quarterback, Julian Nyland. Right there to Mike Pedrini, and Pedrini catches the ball at about the 2-yard line, turns his way in, and he gets the score for Melrose to tie the game at 6.
Sends Sulo on now for Melrose to take the lead. Kick is on its way, and it's good. With 28 seconds to play in the opening half, Melrose takes the lead at 7-6 in what has been a crazy and wild second quarter, dominated by Dartmouth in the first 6 minutes of it. The final 4 minutes, Melrose drives down just about the entire field with the passing game.
Absolutely. They really got out of deep in their own territory. They started deep in their own territory. They put together a 14-play drive, a lot of different pass plays along the way, a 31-yard pass play, a 16-yard play to Sassuolo, 31-yard pass play to Hickney. They ran the ball a few times. The quarterback ran for a 9-yard gain. It was a 24-yard pass to Pedrini along the way, and eventually the touchdown to Pedrini for the 7-yard touchdown, and of course the kick by Cosolito. But getting back to that play, it looked like there was another angle that I was kind of looking at out of the corner of my eye. What happened was the receiver got the ball. He was hit. The ball hit the turf in one bounce, and Sullivan got the ball. So the question would only be, was it a fumble, or was it an incomplete pass? Apparently they ruled it was an incomplete pass. So a bad break for the Indians. Obviously now a 7-6 lead in favor of Melrose. But the Indians will have a chance to get the ball back, but it'll only be 28 seconds on the clock at the time we're kicking the ball off.
And this is Adams from his 14. And Adams gets it across the 15. Well, they take him down there, and you can almost feel the wind taken out of the Indians here. They've had the momentum. They had an opportunity to put some points on the board. A missed extra point could come back to haunt you, and now Melrose has just taken all the breaks given to them, marched it down to take the lead before the half. And you had alluded to it at the end of the first half. You said, boy, Melrose must feel real lucky to be in this game. Now they're ahead.
Yeah, the second drive the Indians had and the third drive the Indians had, arguably they both could have been touchdowns very easily.
Well, here's the touchdown maker, Chris Martin, out to the 26-yard line. Gain of 7.
Great spirit, of course, at Dartmouth High School. The pep rally before the team left to come up here to Foxborough. And there's always great spirit at Dartmouth High School. The players, the cheerleaders, they're all pumped up, of course, to send the team on their way. But right now, Jim, looks like we're going to have to live with a 1-point deficit going into the half.
Well, we're through 20 minutes here from Foxborough. The score at the half, Melrose 7, Dartmouth 6. Let's look in at the pep rally that happened early on this week.
While Dartmouth is not all about football, football in this town is all about what's best for Dartmouth. You all, as shown in our football squad, have poise, work ethic, and are all friends. And that's to be commended. As an educator who has worked in several school districts, you make the uncommon quality of character common. That is why I know you will be at Gillette to support this team. And our team will beat Melrose again this Saturday. Go Indians!
Dartmouth Indians.
On behalf of the athletic department, I'd like to thank the school administration for putting on today's event. It shows the importance of this accomplishment for the football team. I'd like to thank the entire school department and school department administration for their support, as well as the staff at all of our football games this year. And most certainly, last but not least, our student section has been tremendous this year. A round of applause for our student section. Coach White and his entire football staff work harder than any staff that I know, and all of the accomplishments they've achieved over the last couple of years and even moving before are certainly well-deserved. Round of applause for Coach White.
I don't know, I can't do that one. Hey, listen, thanks for having us here today. I want to thank everybody for throwing this rally, the whole Dartmouth school system, all of our faculty. We have the best faculty in the state of Massachusetts right there. Give it up for our faculty. On the other side of the room, we have one of the best bands, if not the best band in the entire United States. Give it up for our band. We're a little pumped up this week. We're a little excited. I get a little cranky because it's the time when the 8th graders decide where they're going to go to high school. So on the count of 3, why don't you tell all the 8th graders in the Dartmouth school system where they should go to high school? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I'm not going to say any more about that. Hey, listen, we've been preparing for the last week for this game. It's a very important game. And if you've never been to a football game, or if you've never been to a big athletic event, all right, I want to invite you to Gillette Stadium tomorrow at 3:30. The weather is going to be beautiful. It's a great day to be with everybody at Dartmouth High School, celebrating our town and our community and our school. So make sure you're there at 3:30. When we were in high school a million years ago, we were fortunate enough to go to the state championship, but then the hockey team went to the state championship, so we went and watched them play, and the girls softball team went to the state championship, and we went and watched them play too. Those are some memories that you'll never forget, being at a big game with all your friends. Couple people here that took some time out of their day to visit us. You might know who they are. Our offensive coordinator, Mr. Peter Ross, he's in the corner over there. Our linebacker coach, Coach Zexter's over there in the middle. And our wide receivers coach, special teams coach, Coach Madden's over there. And I don't know if you saw the paper this morning. It was a great article on the Dean of Defense, the Dean of Facilities, Dean Martin. Where is he? He's writing somebody up right now. Perfect. All right. So we'll see you all at the game tomorrow. I'm just going to introduce our seniors to you in the starting lineup. Nobody knows this except for you guys, so we'll give you the starting lineup for tomorrow. First of all, the offense, number 11, quarterback, Cole Jacobson. Number 28, running back, Chris Martin. Number 87, H-back, Jack Sullivan. Number 27, H-back, Liam Caulfield. Number 10, wide receiver, Matt Craig. Number 22, wide receiver, Alex Tisdale. Number 53, center, Sean Smilak. Number 54, right guard, Aiden Ashton. Number 73, left guard, Nick Marks. At right tackle, number 58, Colin McCabe. And at left tackle, number 50, Nate Rocco DeMello. All right, if you don't start on offense, go sit down. All right, here's our defensive starters. Number 73, nose tackle, Nick Marks. At defensive end, number 15, Cooper Smith. At defensive end, number 58, Colin McCabe. At outside linebacker, Nate DeMello. Also, the other outside linebacker, guy sacks the quarterbacks, picks passes off, 4 touchdowns, 87, Jack Sullivan. Our inside linebackers, number 53, Sean Smilak. Our other inside linebackers, number 55, Brendan Foley. At strong safety, number 22, Alex Tisdale. At free safety, number 25, Luke Espendola. Looking a little bit like Farrah Fawcett. At corner, number 10, Matthew Craig. And at the other corner, number 21, junior Marquise Adams. The rest of our seniors, number 13, Big Ben Staliga. Number 18, Matt Foley. Number 29, Colby Mendes. Number 51, Kyle Sequeira. Number 76, Sean De Silva. Number 79, Alex Gomes. And number 89, Austin Mello. All right, guys. Thank you. Next up, I just want to call our captains down, Sean Smilak, Matt Craig, and Chris Martin, to say a few words. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate the best student section that we've had since I've been coaching. Thank you.
All right. Hey, I just want to say thank you to all those who've been in attendance to the games. Your support is greatly appreciated, and it's helped us make some great memories on the field as a team. And I'd also like to give a shout out to the band and the cheerleaders for sticking with us the whole season and being there, rain or shine. That was greatly appreciated. And for you seniors, this is the last football game you'll ever be able to attend as a DHS student, so we expect to see you all there making noise. I mean, be ready for the game like we are.
All right, I just want to let the tribe know how much we appreciate you guys for coming to our games and supporting us. We're going to try our best to get the win. And I hope to see you guys all there. And a big shout out to my number one fan, Jess. Big shout out to the band.
Just want to say thanks to our coaches over there. These guys dedicate their free time to us every single day, whether it's breaking down film or working us hard on the field. Round of applause for them. Team's been through so much. We work hard every single day, especially our linemen who don't get that much recognition, but those guys who crawl up and down the field every single day. And thanks to the seniors and all the tribe members, especially my boy Benny Buckets over there. And let's make sure everyone's rowdy and loud for the game Saturday so we can help bring back another state championship.
Okay. It has been a tradition at the end of every game that our football team leads the crowd in Glory to Dartmouth, and I can't think of a better time to do it now. So if you guys want to come down.
Glory to Dartmouth, loyal we sing. Now all together, let the echoes ring for Dartmouth. Our team's a winner. We got that stuff, rah, rah, rah. We wear that Dartmouth green, and that's enough.
Just about ready to get underway here in the third quarter. In the first half of action, a mix of emotions for the Indians. Started out very high with a nice touchdown, 34-yard touchdown run on the opening drive by Chris Martin. And from there, things went a little downhill. A missed extra point, stopped at the goal line on their second offensive drive, and then a tough luck fumble of the field goal hold, which ended up resulting in 0 points for the Indians the rest of the half. A couple of nice defensive series to start the game, but struggled on the final series of the game, and a questionable call right down here close to the goal line. It looked as though the receiver for the Red Raiders caught the ball, made a football move, and fumbled. The ref thought otherwise. I don't have a challenge flag, so nothing I could do about it, but if I had to say something, I'd say it was Indians football. So a tough break for the Indians, but again, only down 1 point here. Going to start the second half of action, still very much alive in this game. They'll kick off to start the second half, and we'll see what happens from there. Back to you, Jim and Paul.
Thank you very much, Jimmy Wilkins, for that report. Jim Thompson and Paul Santos back here at Foxborough with the Indians trailing 7-6 at the half. I would say, Paul, in the first 20 minutes, missed opportunities would be the key phrase for Dartmouth High School.
No question about it. You know, they came out like a house of fire. The Indians had the ball first from their own 38. They ended up putting together a 4-play drive that ended up with a 36-yard touchdown run by Chris Martin and a 6-0 lead. Melrose had a couple of possessions, couldn't do anything. They ran 5 plays, had to punt. They ran 3 plays, had to punt again. But the Indians had 2 possessions in addition to the one that got the touchdown. Possession number 2 and possession number 3. Both times they got deep into enemy territory, and both times they came up empty. Their second possession was a 15-play drive, went all the way down to the 1-yard line, and after repeated attempts could not get into the end zone. Then the next possession that they had, which was their third of the game, they got down to about the 10-yard line. They ran out of gas there too, couldn't get into the end zone. And then Melrose, they made a little bit of a coaching adjustment. Coach Tim Morris kind of moving Pregame over into a kind of a slot position, and they came right down the field in 13 plays. It was a 7-yard touchdown pass to Pregame. The extra point by Cosolito, and it's a 7-6 lead in favor of Melrose. Got some stats real quick here. Martin, 18 carries, 86 yards with a touchdown. Tyler, only 2 carries, 3 yards. Nyland, 4 carries for 11 yards. And how about Pedrini? 4 carries for 3 yards. And then they started using him as a person to pass the ball to, and that's when he had a little bit more damage. 3 receptions, 30 yards, and a touchdown for Pedrini.
So the Indians will be kicking off as Melrose won the coin toss prior to the ball game. And they decided to defer. They have the lead at 7-6, and they'll get the first touch here in the third quarter as Mike Pedrini and Jay Tyler are back deep for the Red Raiders, who lost in this game last year to the Indians by a score of 14-7. Eerily similar, Paul Santos, to last year's game where the Indians had many, many opportunities in the first half. Ended up winning the ball game, but neither team scored in the second half of last year's game. So the Indians definitely need a score here. They trailed 7-6. This is Mike Pedrini from his 12. Fakes one way, goes another, cracks it up over the 25, where he's taken down there by Chris Martin.
So Melrose getting some decent field position to start the second half. You know, we talked about it before the game. We had the coin toss. The coin toss was actually won by Melrose High School, but head coach Tim Morris deciding to defer and take the ball in the second half, much like Bill Belichick does here with the Patriots. They're thinking maybe how would that work? Well, actually, it's nice to get the ball to start the second half. It actually worked out for them. They'll have that first possession even with the 7-6 lead.
So Melrose gets the first possession from just across their 25-yard line. Julian Nyland is the quarterback. This is Pedrini looking for room, and Pedrini ran right into Sean Smilak. No gain on the play. Jack Sullivan there as well. Second down and 10 now for the Red Raiders.
Sean Smilak was talking to me on media day about how much he's enjoying playing with his classmates this year. Of course, a lot of seniors graduating. A lot of the players that were in junior year last year are now seniors. That's his class. He's really enjoying working with a lot of his own classmates. They've been doing the job on defense all year.
This is Pedrini looking for running room. Squares his shoulder. He's got himself a first down and a gain of 16 yards. Brandon Foley chased him Out of bounds in front of the Indian bench, but what a nice run here by Pedrini.
So dangerous. You see him take it around the outside, kind of avoiding Foley, and then eventually getting that 16-yard gain. So Melrose looking like a different team late in that second quarter and here in the third quarter, moving the ball effectively here in the third.
This is Pedrini from the quarterback spot. Trying to get the ball in his hands any way possible. Smilak making the tackle.
So here comes the talented running back again, number 5, Mike Pedrini. But he was hit immediately. You saw right there, crushing through Sean Smilak again. Only minimal gain that time.
So they come out in the same formation. Nyland goes out as a wide receiver. And Pedrini is the quarterback on this second down. He's just going to roll out there to the left, looking for running room. Sullivan gets his arms around him, gets him down to the ground at the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Melrose. So we've seen Pedrini at the tailback position. We've seen him in the slot. And here to start the third quarter, Paul, we see him at the quarterback position.
Yeah, in that first half, right? 4 carries for 3 yards. The Indians really did a great job on him in the first half. So some adjustments here to start half number 2.
Hope the Indians can get him off the field here, get some momentum back. They're going to throw it out quickly. Pedrini, didn't catch it. He's going to be short anyway. He would have been short by a yard, but the ball hit the turf. And Melrose is going to send on the special teams.
Here's Nyland throwing the ball.
May have been deflected at the line of scrimmage, Paul, as well.
I think it might have been. So this is great. They got the ball first. The Indians hold them after only 5 plays. And the Indians will be getting the ball back on offense.
And it's one of those Australian punts. And Adams is just going to watch it roll. And Melrose is just getting all the breaks here in this ball game. What looked to be a very poor punt rolls 21 yards further and is down at the Indian 12-yard line. The first half, it was all field position for Dartmouth High School. Melrose takes the opening possession in the second half, can't do much with it, but pin the Indians deep. You like those Australian side, those little pooch kicks?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they definitely got a lucky roll there, no question about it. The ball rolling and rolling all the way down to the 17, but see if the Indians can kind of get their offense going. They've moved the ball well all day, even though they didn't punch it in those 2 times.
In motion is Tisdale. Here's Martin. Martin squirms his way up to the 15-yard line. We ran right into Brian Mercer, along with Hickey. Mercer's been on several tackles for Melrose. A short gain for Chris Martin, 2nd down and 8. And time flies by in a 10-minute period. We're already under 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's 11 minutes during the regular season, but 10 minutes here in the Super Bowl. Could be a difference.
Jacobson looking for running room. Cam Hickey says, I don't think so. Slams him down to the turf. And that's a loss of 3 on the play. Bring up 3rd down and 11.
Well, one of the keys to the game, the ability of the quarterback to run the ball, but this time Cameron Hickey is a 6'2", 205-pound senior coming up of his defensive end position, the captain, to kind of get in there on Cole Jacobson, and pretty much no gain setting up this 3rd and long.
There's the draw. Martin cuts it back inside, twists and turns, and not going to get the first down. Mercer makes the tackle, and a flag comes in as well. The officials will discuss. Haven't had many flags in this game. Face mask against Melrose. That'll give the Indians a first down.
Well, a break there for the Indians last time, maybe getting a couple of bad breaks in that first half. It was a
Personal
question about
foul, face mask on the defense. 15 yards added to the end of the run. Carries an automatic first down. One.
Question in the first half there about whether or not Martin got in on that 4th and 1. We kind of thought maybe he might have, and then of course he had the fumble that we thought maybe Sullivan recovered. This time a penalty against Melrose helps the Indians.
Martin's having difficulty running into the middle of that line. Kristen Perkins that time, along with Mercer. And it was Mercer who got called for the grabbing of the face mask, but Mercer's had a very, very good game for Melrose. In on several stops. 2nd down and long. 5.5 to go in the 3rd. Indians trail Melrose by a score of 7-6. Martin around the right side. Chris twisting and turning his way out for a 1st down. Gain of 9. Mike Pedrini made the stop, not before Martin picked up the 1st.
So much fun watching Chris Martin go to work. A lot of room around the side. This has been an effective play for the Indians all season long. See him twisting at the last second. It is Pedrini that ended up taking him down, but not until a nice 9-yard gain by the Dartmouth running back. And here they are in business, moving the ball effectively. They move the chains. This is their 5th play of the drive, and they are at the 45.
Started back at their own 12. Ball fake. Jacobson throws. Got a man. Incomplete. Goodness gracious. Alex Tisdale dropped it at the 28-yard line.
We've talked about Alex Tisdale's speed all year long, and he has the speed from that wide receiver position. Had his man beat, had his hands up in the air. Pedrini ended up bringing him down, but unfortunate break for the Indians there. It looked like Tisdale, had he been able to bring that ball in, he might have been gone.
Alex had a step on him. Pedrini, perhaps maybe the best athlete on the field. Free safety. Martin looking for running room. Not going to get it. Going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Tommy Calvert along with Jared Patello. Patello, the linebacker. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 10.
We talked about how the teams are mirror images of each other. We talked about Dartmouth's defense all year long, allowing about 9 points a game against. This Melrose team very similarly putting up 30 points a game on offense, allowing only 10 points per game on defense. They have been very stingy on the inside. They really kind of keyed on Martin and slowed down the running game. Everything they've earned today has been really hard to come by, especially after the 1st quarter.
These championship games are games of opportunity, and the Indians have had several. They just haven't had the ball break their way. Here's Tisdale again, and he drops it again. Alex is wide open down there at the 38-yard line and couldn't hold on to it, and the Indians are forced to punt the football.
Alex Tisdale is about 25 yards downfield, and you see Jacobson very comfortable in the pocket all year long, throws it down there to number 22, and that, of course, is Alex Tisdale. He's the wide receiver at 5'9", 160, doing a great job all year. He's had 9 catches for 150 yards coming into today's game, but that time not able to bring it in. The Indians forced to punt.
Sensulo grabs it at his 15, starts to the near side, and is taken down immediately by Aiden Ashton. So it's a game of field position here in the 2nd half. Melrose now will start this drive deep in their own territory, but they have the lead. The Indian faithful looking on. As I've alluded to, it's a game of opportunities, and the Indians have had at least 5 major opportunities in this game and just haven't capitalized on any of them.
Now, we talked about the 1st half where they had the ball at the 1-yard line, couldn't get in, another time at the 10. Here with this possession, an 8-play drive, but unable to complete the passes, and now Melrose gets their 2nd possession of the 2nd half.
And it chews up the clock. Here's Pedrini. He's got a man. He's open out here, and it's caught. And going in for the touchdown is Nyland, who's normally the quarterback. Julian Nyland from Mike Pedrini. Melrose pulling out all the stops in this ball game. No question about it.
Well, they have a lot of athletes on that side of the field, and how about Nyland? He's not the quarterback this time. He sets up at wide receiver, and here you see Pedrini faking like he's going to run the ball, but no, he doesn't. He throws it downfield. The Indians completely fooled. Nyland didn't have anybody within 10 yards of him. and he goes down the sidelines. That is about an 87-yard touchdown pass.
Point after touchdown is good. So with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go, the Indians now trail by a score of 14-6.
And you see right there, right? Their extra point kicker, Michael Cosolito. He's actually kicked field goals of 37 yards and 41 yards during the course of the season. And of course, we've talked about our ability on special teams to kick the extra points and a field goal if necessary. At least 2 for 2 with the extra points. Of course, our extra point missed. And so that could be big down the stretch because the Indians are now down by 8. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it up, and we've only got 3:40 to go here in quarter number 3.
The Indians haven't found themselves trailing often this season, although in their last victory over Milton, they did trail. They fought back to win that ball game. But in this particular game, they're making mistakes that they haven't made in this championship drive.
And some good coaching, I have to say, there by Tim Morris. How about some of the adjustments he's made?
He's put Pedrini in great spots. You know, this is a championship game. You got to get the ball in the hands of your best player. And he's done a good job of that. And this is Chris Martin. And Chris is bottled up at the 20. Actually, it's Adams, and Adams gets it out to the 25-yard line. So now the Indians, with 3 minutes and 34 seconds left to play in the third, find themselves trailing by 8 points.
So a 15-yard return that time by Marquise Adams gets halfway decent field position. They're at about the 25-yard line. Still a lot of ways to go, a lot of green. We'll have to see what the Indians do. It seemed like they were keying a little bit more on Martin the last couple of times the Indians had the ball. And last time the Indians having to punt their only possession of the second half. Of course, we talked about the couple of times in the first half that they should have punched it in and they didn't. Clutch time here now for the Indians late in the third.
Here's Jacobson off the ball fake, and he's taken down, and taken down hard. Cam Hickey made the tackle.
What a nice play that time by Hickey. Looked like Jacobson was trying to do something there. He went on a little bit of a ball fake, and then it was a question of whether or not he was going to carry the ball or pitch it, but then all of a sudden, Hickey just hit him hard as he shot right through, got his arms around the quarterback, brought him down, and the Indians there with a loss of 3.
2nd and 13. Cole. This is Martin. Martin's got running room. Chris has got running room now to the outside. He's got midfield. He's down at the 40, 35. Chris Martin still on his feet. Cuts it back to the outside, just shy of the 10-yard line. Will Branchero finally got him down. And like Melrose has done, they got Martin the football out here in a little bubble screen.
That's about a 67-yard run there for Chris Martin. I like this call. You get the ball into the hands of Martin on the screen. You let the play develop. You let the blocks line up, and there goes Martin. He'll find a hole. He cuts it to the middle, then he cuts it to the right. He goes down the sideline, turns on the Jets. 67 yards down the field, tackled inside the 20, down at about the 13-yard line. The Indians in business.
Tisdale in motion. And Martin may have moved, and he did. That'll back the Indians up 5. Be 1st and 15.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, Paul, we've talked about it all game long with 10-minute quarters. You have to score here. You know, it's not necessary, but it would be a major advantage to get this football in the end zone because you're not going to have too many more possessions. And you have to shut Melrose out the rest of the way. 1st and 15. Here's Chris. They have a boxed in. Making the play for Melrose was Alex Bookman, who just entered the game. So Chris picks up a couple. Second down and 13 now for the Indians.
There's Chris Martin going to work. Nice play there, but you see number 53 coming up really big there, Alex Bookman. 225 pounds. Defensive lineman, 6 feet, the senior, making a play for Melrose.
Jacobson. Here comes the rush. Throws it middle of the field. Caught! Touchdown Indians! Jack Sullivan! That time Jacobson rolled opposite and threw back across the grain. We'll look on.
Jack Sullivan, 10 receptions on the year, and he comes through here. Jacobson rolling out, avoids the pass rush, and finds Sullivan. He had 2 players around him. Watch this. But he battles for the ball and brings it in, a 17-yard touchdown completion from Cole Jacobson to Jack Sullivan. And the Indians down 2. They'll go for the 2-point conversion here.
For the tie, incomplete. Dane Ashton, the intended receiver. And that was a bullet thrown by Jacobson. So the Indians answer. But like in the Milton game, Milton couldn't get the point after touchdowns. The Indians 0 for 2, Paul.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, right? The first time the Indians, right, they went for the extra point like they normally would. There was some kind of problem with the snap, the ball coming out to Craig, and he had to pick it up, and he was trying to figure out whether or not he was going to throw it, but it ended up a broken play, no extra point. The Indians had to settle for the 6-0 lead. Second time the Indians down here getting the touchdown. They had to go for the 2-point conversion, something they ordinarily wouldn't do, and it's not successful. On the other side, Mike Cosolito, he's their extra point guy and their field goal kicker. I mean, he is something else. He's got a 37-yard game-winning field goal against Woburn in the closing seconds. Earlier in the season, he also has a 41-yard field goal, so he's got a good boot. So far, those 2 extra points have been huge.
Tyler and Pedrini back for Melrose. Just like last year, we have a thriller going on here in Foxborough. And this is Mike Pedrini from his 10. Starts to the near side. Indians, the ball may be out. Dartmouth is claiming they have it. They do!
Absolutely huge for this Dartmouth Indian team. The ball is kicked to Pedrini, the guy that you want to have the ball. But making the hit is Matt Foley. And he forces Pedrini to cough up the ball. And the Indians have the ball in enemy territory at about the 16. Unbelievable.
1st and 10 Indians, 1:04 to go in the third. I'm Jim Thompson. He's Paul Santos. Andrew Thompson up here in the booth doing the scouting for us. Just saw the Dartmouth faithful. Sorry to say, Dartmouth fans, we may be outnumbered almost 2-1 up here. Melrose, their fans coming out.
How about that play by Matt Foley? You know, we see a lot of Brendan Foley, of course, on defense for this Dartmouth Indian team, number 55, but I'm at number 18, making a huge hit on Pedrini, the exact guy that you want to have the ball, right? You want him to have the ball. You figure he's not going to cough up the ball. He's got it tucked under. He's a great athlete, but here comes Matt Foley. Makes the hit, delivers the hit. They cough up the ball. The Indians with a golden opportunity to take the lead late in the third.
Here's Jacobson. Tisdale in motion. Martin breaks through the first wave and gets down to the 10-yard line where he's tripped up there by Colin Casey. Chris picked up 4 on the first down carry. Under a minute to play in the third. The Indians once again threatening They've had many opportunities in this ball game and unfortunately haven't capitalized on many of them. And here they have yet a golden opportunity late here in the third. And they call for a timeout with 29 seconds to play in the period. So, Paul Santos, opportunities in any athletic event. The Indians have had them all day long. Here's another one, a gift wrap for them right down here at the 12-yard line.
I know we have a whole quarter to go. Of course, it's only a 10-minute quarter. It really feels like a must-convert situation right here, right? I mean, going down there and not getting in at the 1-yard line, you think back about that now. You think about not being able to convert that extra point. Obviously, if they converted the first one, they would have gone for it on the second one. So it'd be 14-14 right now. Got a couple of passes over the middle in that last drive, didn't work. Now the play by Matt Foley, forcing the fumble on their best player, Pedrini. Getting the ball here at the 17-yard line, now down at around the 10 or so. It really does feel, even though there's a whole quarter to go, it does feel like a must-punch-in situation here from the Dartmouth point of view.
Yeah, and credit Dartmouth High School. A beautiful pass from Pedrini to the quarterback of all people for Melrose. That's Julian Nyland. Indians obviously not expecting that. I don't think anybody was expecting that. Indians come right back and score and then turn them over.
That's a testament to this Indian team. If you notice, right, when they've had a couple of things happen that were bad, it hasn't happened too often. How about that game against Milton? 2 fumbles in a row on back-to-back plays. And they bounce back from that against a very high-powered, wide-open team. So they're not really ready to hit the panic button. They're knocking on the door again here.
2nd and 6. Martin hitting the backfield, spins away. Here's Martin. And he slides down to the 1-yard line. First down, Dartmouth. Mike Pedrini stopped him just shy of the goal line.
Well, here's Chris Martin doing what he does best. He ends up getting a 10-yard gain out of this. You see him kind of getting stacked up on the inside, but no, he bounces it off to the left and gets all the way down to the 1-yard line. This is the second time now that the Indians have been at the 1-yard line, and they got 4 downs to go to get in there this time.
Chris, no luck. And that'll do it at the end of period number 3. So we have 10 minutes of thrilling football left for you folks in Dartmouth. There's your score: Melrose 14, Dartmouth High School 12. Final 10 coming your way on DC TV.
And it's a crazy swing of emotion here for Dartmouth as things looked bleak, struggling to start the third quarter. They give up the huge touchdown play. But let me tell you right now, guys, it's crazy down here on the field after that big swing of emotion with that big touchdown for Dartmouth on a nice drive prolonged by the penalty on the Red Raiders. And then the Indians get a tremendous play by Matt Foley on the kickoff coverage, making the receiver move his feet, lose the ball, a nice recovery. And Dartmouth's in business here at the 1-yard line, 2nd and goal. Let's see if they can punch it in here to start the fourth quarter.
Welcome back to Foxborough, everybody. We have the final 10 minutes coming your way. The Super Bowl Division III. There's the Dartmouth High School Indians. They're up here to defend their championship against this very team they beat last year, Melrose High School. In the game, very similar, Paul Santos, where Dartmouth completely dominated that game last year and held on to a 14-7 victory. This game a little different. Dartmouth has had plenty of opportunities. Melrose defense, as advertised, they give up 10 points a game. They've held on. Now it's a chance for Melrose once again. We have 10 minutes left. We have 2nd down and goal from the 1-yard line for the Indians.
Got to feel good here, Jim. I mean, to be able to stop the Indians 4 times in a row at the 1-yard line, I mean, if they do that, you tip your cap to them. Obviously, you get the field goal possibility, which they could do very easily down this deep. But you really want the touchdown here. I'm sure the Indians are going to pull out all the stops. Maybe you fake the Martin and do something else this time. You got to go, I think, a little bit deeper into the toolbox. But we'll see. Martin's certainly capable of barreling in from the 1. Last time, of course, they really stacked the inside. Melrose did. They kind of thought to themselves, you know what, we're just going to block Martin and that's it. So we'll see if the Indians do something else or if they just say, hey, we're going with our guy. We're going in from the 1-yard line. We'll see what they decide to do.
2nd and goal for Dartmouth. Chris in, touchdown, the Indians retake the lead. From the 1, the touchdown maker, Chris Martin. And the Indians have the lead at 18-14. Just underway here in the fourth.
Touchdown, Dartmouth.
27th touchdown on the season for number 28, the senior Chris Martin. This time, they're not going to stop him at the 1-yard line. This time he is going in as he barrels in for 6. And the Indians have taken the lead. And once again, the decision about whether or not to go for the 2-point conversion. And they are going to go for 2 here, with the score standing right now at 18-14.
Trips to the top of your screen. Jacobson looking, throws. He's got the 2 points in the hands of Jack Sullivan. That looked too easy. With 9:58 to play in the ball game, the defending champs retake the lead at 20-14.
Jack Sullivan, a good hands receiver. Why not put the ball in his hands? You see Jacobson. Look at that pass protection as he just stood comfortably in the pocket. The senior Jack Sullivan, who's done it on offense and defense all year long, open right over the line in the end zone. He hauls the ball in. A very important 2-point conversion for the Indians, as they now have a 6-point lead at 20-14. Hey, that was an impressive drive right there, Jim, I thought. You know, the way the Indians put together a nice drive after getting the ball from the Matt Foley fumble. I mean, it was only from the 16-yard line, but, you know, Melrose has been tough in the red zone on the Indians, especially when you look back to the second quarter. This time, the Indians would have none of it. Matt Foley forces an all-important fumble. They gave the Martin the ball 4 times in a row, and he's in from the 1-yard line.
This time he definitely was in.
Definitely. So it'll be interesting to see now. Melrose, 9:58 to go here in the fourth quarter, whether they'll be able to answer.
Pedrini and Tyler back deep, and this is Pedrini from his 11th. And Pedrini gets tripped up by the Indians' Matt Foley. And Foley caused the fumble just moments ago. There he goes off the field on that same man, Mike Pedrini, their touchdown maker. So now Melrose, they're looking in the face of adversity. They trail now by 6 at 20-14 with 9:53 to go in the ballgame.
Well, they have a lot of athletes, right? Mike Pedrini, 20 touchdowns on the season. Has a touchdown pass to his credit today. Julian Nyland, 10 touchdowns rushing coming into today's game with 9 touchdown passings during the course of the season. So they get a lot of athletes to be able to do something here. We'll see what they can put together.
And this is Tyler. Tyler pushes the pile forward. Perhaps 2. It's Jack Sullivan there for the Indians, along with Cooper Smith. Gain of 4. Got a good spot there as well. 2nd and 6.
I was talking to the Melrose broadcast team before the game, and of course they were making rave reviews about guys like Nyland and Pedrini, but they also said, don't forget about Tyler. This guy runs the 220 dash, right? He's a champion of the Middlesex League, and he's got some speed.
Nyland gets it out to Pedrini. Indians have him defensed, and he's going to be out there for a 5-yard gain, and I think he's got the first. Nate DeMello finally made the stop. Pedrini with nice second effort just eked out the first.
Look at how slippery Pedrini is. He gets the ball here. He looks like he's going to be tackled at about the 30-yard line, but he spins away that time from Nate DeMello and manages to get just barely into first down territory.
First and 10 Melrose. Under 9 to go. Quarterback runs it out. That's Nyland just for a 2-yard gain. Kyle Sullivan made the tackle for the Indians. Came in for 1 play to replace Cooper Smith. So the ball's at the 37-8 now for Melrose, and they're taking their time with under 8.5 to go. They may get this possession and perhaps one other. They trail by 6. Ball fake. Nyland being chased. Throws out there in the flat. It's complete. And diving for the first down marker for Melrose High School was Branchino. And that's enough for the first down. Another nice effort by the Melrose offensive player. That time, Branchero.
Little play action fake that time by Nyland. Gets it in the hands of Will Branchero. He's a senior at 6'2", 210 pounds. Nice gain there by Melrose, and another first down.
Clock is stopped with 8:07 to go. Ball is loose. It's on the ground, and Melrose jumps on it. Mike Pedrini. Running that Wildcat offense. Couldn't hold on to the snap. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. And that little thing there blinking down the bottom of your screen, that's the alley right now.
Yeah, that's right. 7:41 to go. We talked about the 10-minute quarters. Time moving along very quickly, especially with the running game here in the latter portions of the fourth quarter.
Pedrini in motion. Nyland keeps it. Nyland defense well here to the near side. Colin McCabe. What a season he's had. Gained a 2 on the play. Bring up 3rd down and 9 as we approach the 7-minute mark.
We talked about the running quarterbacks as one of the keys to today's game. Well, that time, Nyland not able to get anything as Colin McCabe. He's just done an outstanding job, and he's going to be back next year. He's a junior.
Trips to the far side. Nyland's got time, throws it out there to the right, incomplete. In and out of the hands of Alex Burton. Back there defending for the Indians was Alex Tisdale.
Well, Burton had his hands up. It looked like he had the opportunity to bring that ball in. As you see Nyland going back into the pocket, very comfortable throw, but you see Burton getting hit immediately by Sullivan, but it looked like the ball was going through his fingertips, and looks like Burton is still down on the field.
Yeah, it's Alex Burton down on the field. And is our policy here at DCTV when we have an injured athlete, we take pause. We'll be right back with more Super Bowl action in just a moment. You see the down marker across the way, 4th and 9 for Melrose. 6:51 to play in the ball game.
What a decision here for Melrose head coach Tim Morris, whether to go for it on 4th down or punt. I mean, looking at the clock, 6:51. I mean, the book would probably say punt. Jim Thompson was thinking, hey, maybe it'd be gutsy here, but they've decided to play it conservative with enough time on the clock.
Calvert is the punter. This side of the field. Tisdale's going to let it bounce, and the Indians get a gratuitous bounce as a bounce back toward the Melrose side. The Indians will have it 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line with 6:41 to play in the ball game, holding on to a 20-14 lead.
Well, the Indians have definitely picked up their play of late. They put together a nice drive, starting at their own 35-yard line, a 5-play drive, which was capped by a 17-yard touchdown pass to Jack Sullivan. They got it to 14-12, and then the big play by Matt Foley, forcing the Melrose fumble at the Dartmouth at the Melrose 16, and then Martin ended up running it in from the 1. The Indians with the lead, 6:41 to go.
Tisdale in motion. Martin looking for running room back to the line of scrimmage. Definitely going to key on him here late in the ball game. Coming across making the stop was Colin Casey.
And is, of course, in a situation where they want to take some time off the clock, but it's too early to just melt the clock altogether. You still need some first downs. If you can get a few first downs and march down the field, keep the ball away from Melrose. And they're ahead at 2014, the Indians.
Martin takes a breather along the Indian sideline. And here's Jacobson. Jacobson's got running room. Cole Jacobson down deep in Melrose territory, still running with the ball. Cole Jacobson down inside the 5-yard line. No flags. Finally taken down inside the 5-yard line. The young quarterback who we've watched all season long just get better and better and better.
Oh, there's the gut. He's gone. He's gone.
Martin out on that. Jacobson does what Martin does.
No, we talked about it in the keys to the game, that little handoff, the fake handoff, and then Jacobson takes off down the middle. We've seen this all year long. That's a 64-yard run by the junior quarterback of the Dartmouth Indians, finally tackled at the 5-yard line by Jay Tyler. What a great possession there, a great play by the Dartmouth quarterback, and the Indians at the enemy 5.
Clock rolls, 5:31 to go. First and goal, Indians from the Melrose 5. Chris cuts it back inside, churning and churning down to the 1-yard line. Casey making the tackle.
Great job here by the offensive line. They've been doing it all year. Got a nice block there by Caulfield, the blocking back. And then look at that second effort by Chris Martin as he gets the ball down to the 1-yard line. The Indians a great condition team. And as the game has gone along, it looks like they're wearing that defense down a little bit on the Melrose side of the ball. This time a 4-yard gain. Second and goal at the 1.
Caulfield and Sullivan. The block is all season long for Chris. Here's Martin. Burrows his head. Didn't get in. This guy in the near side says it's a no. He says no. Just short. I thought he had both arms up. And now so did the Indians.
Yeah, the official on this side of the field.
He called it a touchdown.
Yeah, he had his arms up, and the other official didn't. Now they're calling it a touchdown.
Dartmouth!
$28 now for Chris Martin, $29 for Todman, but how about that? You just can't keep Martin out of the end zone. And now you see on this side of the field, head coach Tim Morris, he's really upset as he's trying to get an explanation for why they had such a disagreement on making that call amongst the officials. But the Indians get the call. Martin in the end zone, third touchdown of the night.
Indians going for 2 once again. They've got the lead with 4:39 to go. Jacobson throws, deflected. Point after touchdown, not good. The Indians, however, now with 4:39 have the lead at 26-14. Paul?
What a great job by the Indians that time. They started the ball at their own 29-yard line, and they started running the ball, but really no gain the first time. But then Jacobson fakes the handoff to Tisdale, but the junior quarterback keeps the ball, finds a big hole up the middle, opened up by that offensive line. Guys like Sean Smilek, Aiden Ashton, Nick Marks, Colin McCabe, Nate DeMello. And Jacobson takes off, takes it 64 yards down to the enemy 5-yard line. And then it's only 2 plays later that Chris Martin grinds out 3 and then grinds out 1. His 3rd touchdown of the night, 28th touchdown on the season. The Indians with a 26-14 lead. Very, very importantly, it is a 2-possession game.
Absolutely. And I want to apologize to my good friend Jordan Todman. You still have the season 29 touchdowns. You still one ahead of Chris Martin, but that's off to Chris Martin. What a season. What a run there by Cole Jacobson. Put the Indians up 26-14.
So 2 1-yard touchdown runs by Martin, a 36-yard touchdown run by Martin, and of course the touchdown pass 17 yards to Jack Sullivan account for the 4 scores.
Pedrini from his 10. Spins across the 25. Return of 15 yards, and Jack Sullivan making the tackle for the Indians. So it's been the Indian defense all season long, Paul, giving up less than 10 a game. They have 4:34 to go. They've held Melrose to 14. I would think if you coach White, they have to go 75 yards to score against this defense.
Right, and then you're in an onside kick situation and then do it again against one of the top defenses in Division III throughout the entire state. A tall order is in front of Melrose right now.
Melrose gets up to the line of scrimmage. They seem to be discombobulated a bit, and they call for a timeout, and that coaching staff was really beside themselves on that last Chris Martin touchdown. I was looking at the near official. He immediately signaled for a touchdown.
Yeah, he had his hands up. He had his hands up on the near side. Then we look at the official on the far side. He doesn't have his hands up. Then there's a huddle in the middle of the field. The players were just kind of standing there wondering what the call was going to be. And then all of a sudden, after talking about it, they gave the signal for the touchdown. You saw the Indian players erupt, the fans on the other side erupt. And then, of course, on this side of the field, a completely different response, of course, for the Red Raiders. But, hey, the Indians, we thought they were in before. The first time they were 4th and goal at the 1, so it kind of evened out. They got the call one time. The Indians got the call the other time.
So Melrose has it with 4:34 to play, 1st and 10. They have 4 wides. Pressure here now on Nyland. He's got time, throws over the middle, incomplete. Luke Espendola in coverage for Dartmouth High School.
Nice coverage there, by Espendola. Here's Nyland dropping back into the pocket, looking to open things up a little bit. Really no choice. Hey, Espendola, he's been doing a great job all season long from that free safety position. He's a senior, 5'7", 150. He's been all over that secondary all year long. One of the reasons why the Dartmouth defense has been so strong.
Bunch formation, near side. Nyland's got time, shoots it, completes it. That's enough for a 1st down. In on the reception was Steve Abbott. Espendola making the tackle for Dartmouth. Stops the clock with 4:21 to go.
Well, the Red Raiders, they can throw the ball when they have to. We've seen a lot of clips leading up to this game over the course of the season. And Nyland dropped back that time, hit Abbott for a 15-yard gain. Just what they needed.
Nyland's got plenty of time. Throws long, deep, middle of the field. Broken up back there. At the 15-yard line, Luke Espendola again. Knocking it away.
Hey, Luke Espendola, you can't say enough about him. He's back there in that free safety position. And the Indians, knowing that Melrose is in kind of a passing situation, they need to come down and score and then get the ball and score again. Nice pass protection there by the Melrose offensive line. And Pedrini is the guy you want to get the ball to. But Espendola says, no way.
2nd and 10. Nyland gets it away quickly. He's got a completion and a 1st down into Indian territory. Tisdale on the tackle. Alex Burton on the reception. Under 4 to go now. Clock is stopped. Now they'll wind it. Indians rushing 3. Nyland's got plenty of time, no pressure on him. It's caught. And out for a 9-yard gain is Ryan Sensulo. Smilak, the linebacker, makes the play, but not before a pickup of 8.
Nice pass that time to Sensulo. He's a very talented receiver for this Melrose team. Gains 8.
Here comes a little bit of pressure this time, and the ball goes right through the hands of the Melrose receiver. That's Branchero. And we have an injured Dartmouth player down. And I believe it's Nate DeMello.
Nearly getting a look at Branchero. Looked like he was open along the far sideline, looking to catch the ball in 1st down territory, maybe step out of bounds. But unfortunately that time, not able to bring it in from the Melrose point of view.
So we have an injured player on the field, as is our policy here at DCTV Channel 9. We'll take this brief pause. We'll be back with more Super Bowl action in just a moment. They're only rushing 3. They're playing 8 back ball.
Yeah.
Rushing 3 down line.
Yeah, right.
Yeah? Okay, good, thanks. Did you see it happen, Andrew? Ready, Paul?
Sure.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the Indians' outside linebacker, Nate DeMello. Outstanding career here at Dartmouth High School, and we can only hope for the very best with 3:22 to go in the game. You don't like to see any type of injury, but that young man has put his heart and soul into this football program. Matt Foley has come in to replace him. 3rd and 2 here for Melrose. Nyland shoots it out quickly. He's got the first down. Sensulo on the catch.
Well, time is of the essence, right? 3:18 to go in the game. You want to get the ball out to Sensulo. That was really the play they tried to complete right before that injury, and this time Sensulo was able to bring it in along the far sideline. He stepped out of bounds, stops the clock with 3:18 to play.
1st and 10, Melrose. Pedrini stands to the left of Nyland. Going to give it to Pedrini out here, and he's well defensed. He breaks the first tackle of Sullivan, but not the second tackle of Kyle Sullivan. Coming up to the 3-minute mark left in this ball game. Dartmouth High School 26, Melrose 14. 2nd and 9 for Melrose. 3 wides near side. Nyland looking far sideline, throws it out there. He's got a man incomplete. Matty Craig deflected it away at the last moment.
Matt Craig, just sensational from that quarterback position all season long. Now watch Nyland drop into the pocket. He's had a great time with pass protection all game long, and he's looking for Sensulo down there. Look at Craig. He had it all the way. I saw him set up and follow Sensulo throughout the entire route, stayed one pace in front of him, and as soon as the ball arrived, reached up and batted away.
There's a good look at Craig, the senior. Jeff Caron can't wait to get him in the basketball practice. Nyland looks right, throws right high, and caught. Nice grab down there by Alex Burton. Tisdale on the tackle, but that's enough for a Melrose first down. And every time they pick up first downs, Paul, the clock stops. Now it begins to roll. At the 22 is Pedrini. Pedrini's got running room. Tisdale and Chase. Gets him out at the 15-yard line. Stops the clock with 2:28 to go.
You can see them trying to get the ball to the outside so that they can get the ball out of bounds to stop the clock. That was a nice play to Pedrini. Pedrini gaining about 7 on that. Steps out of bounds, stops the clock with 2:28 to play.
You know, coming into this game, all we heard about was what a great runner Pedrini has been throughout the season. In this game, he's been in the slot and he's caught a lot of passes.
He has a touchdown reception and he has a touchdown pass.
Nyland gets down to the 12. McCabe wrapped him up.
Get a good look at the senior quarterback, Julian Nyland, much like Cole Jacobson, a first-year senior quarterback. Quarterback last year graduating, he stepped in a lot like Jacobson, and he's been the quarterback all season long in his senior year.
1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. He's looking for Pedrini there on the right. Nyland now got to throw across field into traffic. Caught! Touchdown! Touchdown, Melrose. Stephen Abbott, the junior. And Nyland threw that up across his body into traffic.
Now let's take a look at Nyland. Ordinarily, you don't want to do that. You don't want to throw across your body. But he manages to get it in the hands of Stephen Abbott. He's a 5'10", 165-pound junior. And what a great job he did to leap in the air and pull that in. That was about a 12-yard touchdown pass.
Point after touchdown is good, and there's a flag down as well. So Melrose answers here late in the game with 2:10 remaining, and Luke Espindola had a great series defensively for the Indians that time, and I think he thought he got pushed off because he was in great position and the ball just was out of his grasp, and Stephen Abbott, the junior, 5'10", 165, made the tackle for Melrose. So we're looking on at the big scoreboard, and no, he just threw it over his head. Big jumbotron here at the stadium. Nice pitch and catch for Melrose, Paul. We got ourselves a ball game with 2:10 to go.
Yeah, that was an 11-play drive that started at Melrose's own 27-yard line, so it took them a little while to come down the field. Obviously a two-possession situation. So here we are in the onside kick situation, a low percentage type of play, but obviously if Melrose comes up with the onside kick, they'll have the ball at midfield. So obviously a big moment here for the Dartmouth Indians special teams to recover the attempted onside kick. They did so in the Milton game. Milton was in the same situation in the state semifinal, scoring a touchdown and then needing the onside kick, but the Indians were able to recover it, and that put the kibosh on any kind of comeback that Milton had set up. So it all comes down right now with 2:10 to go to an onside kick.
And they're aiming toward the Indian sideline. It's got to go 10 yards. Big hop. Indians down it. Matty Craig. You know, the opportunities presented themselves early in this game for the Indians. They couldn't capitalize. And then they had bad breaks, it seemed like. Punts that would roll for 20 yards after it was a bad kick and so on and so forth. Here now they get the opportunity. You think Melrose, the way the breaks have been going, one giant hop into your best athlete's hands. Couldn't ask for anything more if you're the Indians' special teams.
Absolutely. You're looking for somebody to cover the onside kick, and who is it? Number 10, Matt Craig. So you get 3 touchdowns for Chris Martin. You have a touchdown pass to Jack Sullivan. And Matt Craig making a nice play there. Matt Foley forcing that fumble earlier. What a huge play that was on special teams.
There's Martin. Chris got midfield. He's still not down, and finally steps out of bounds by Mike Pedrini.
Looked like they blew that dead before he stepped out of bounds.
Melrose has 2 timeouts, I believe. Clock rolling here. Indians holding on, trying to defend their championship. They have the lead at 26-21. 2nd and 10 from midfield. Pitch to Martin. Martin still on his feet. Falls forward across the 45 down to the 43-yard line where Melrose calls a timeout.
Well, you knew they had to call both of them during this series. So it's interesting to see that they let it wind all the way down on the first play. But here's Martin. All you really need is a couple of significant gains, and there he goes. Getting a nice block from the left side of his offensive line. Nice gain there of about 5, sets up the 3rd down and 3, and only 1:20 on the clock. How about this? 1:20 to go. The possibility of the Indians defending last year's Super Bowl championship. I'll tell you, 1 game into the season, not sure people were really thinking anything like this. They lost the first game. Obviously, it was a close game, tough game.
To a Division 4 team, Middleborough.
right. Trying to, who's the quarterback going to be? Let's get him in there. Let's get him some work. Let's get him some reps. But then it really came together. Middle of the season, they lost to Bridgewater Raynham, a game that they really could have won. But a Division 1 team they went on to beat St. John's Prep. Class organization here, the New England Patriots. Super Bowl championships. Well, there might be another high school Super Bowl championship batter hanging down at Dartmouth High School.
They're a 1st down away for defending their Super Bowl championship. Let's look on 3rd and 3. And they get up to the line of scrimmage and timeout Dartmouth. So a little cat and mouse game going on, Paul, between the 2 coaching staffs.
Obviously, the Indians really want to get this 1st down and end the game right here and now. They're lining up. They did have a couple of timeouts on the table, so they figured they'd take them. You see Melrose, kind of an interesting game from their point of view. They kept Dartmouth out of the end zone, and Dartmouth's 2nd and 3rd possession in the first half. That looked like something that might bite the Indians later on. You know, they didn't get the 2-point conversion, and then they didn't get in from the 1-yard line, and then they didn't get in from around the 10-yard line. But Indians are resilient. They've done it all year. They bounce back from whatever adversity you have. I point to that Matt Foley forcing that fumble deep in enemy territory at like the 16-yard line or something, and then the Indians scoring there. That was huge. That was huge, along with, of course, the 3 Martin touchdown runs, and, of course, the 17-yard touchdown reception by Jack Sullivan.
Melrose faithful across the way on their feet, cheering on their defense. Indian fans on their feet. Indians need a first down. Here's Martin to the left. He's got the first down. Chris Martin picks up the Indian first down, and Melrose has but 1 timeout remaining now. And that play has worked well all season long. There's your fans from Dartmouth.
The fans know what's about to happen here as the Indians get that all-important first down. Melrose is not going to be able to stop the clock. The Indians are getting ready to get into victory formation. What another great season turned in by the Dartmouth Indians.
First and 10 Indians, under a minute to go. Here's Chris holding that ball, not letting anybody take it away from him. Down to the 30 he goes. Melrose will call a timeout. Another rock'em sock'em game between 2 outstanding football games. Hats off to Melrose. They came in here. I'm not sure what their offense was. We heard about Mike Pedrini, and all of a sudden he's not running the football. He's in the slot. He's catching and running after the catch. He did just about everything he could for his team. He's their outstanding player. 20 touchdowns on the season. Of all players on special teams, he coughs it up, gives the Indians a momentum. Indians take it in, and have led ever since.
Well, they've got 3 touchdowns, right? One of them is a touchdown pass from Nyland to Pedrini. Then there's a touchdown pass from Pedrini to Nyland, which is the play you alluded to. Then there's a touchdown pass from the quarterback to Abbott. Well, that's okay. No rushing touchdowns all day long. No rushing touchdowns. They had to change their game plan, which to their credit, they did a little bit in the second half, but credit the Indians. They adjusted to. Stayed with Martin. They got Jacobson running, a big run by him. 3 touchdown runs by Martin. Couple short, 36-yard run, and, of course, a 17-yard touchdown pass to Sullivan. And the Matt Foley forcing Pedrini to cough up the ball that resulted in a score.
Victory formation for the Indians. They take the knee. Clock rolling here in Foxborough. Indian faithful. They know it's over.
Here comes a bucket.
And Ricky White takes a bucket of ice. But I think Ricky's saying you got to get out there and run a play. Quit throwing that stuff on me. It's not over yet. But in his mind and our mind, it is over as the clock's coming down here to 5, 4, 3, and there's the referees blew the whistle as if to get another play in here. And now they're going to say the heck with it, and Dartmouth High School has defended their Super Bowl championship 2 in a row over Melrose by a final score of 26-21. Paul Santos.
Unbelievable. Who would have thought it? 2 years in a row, coming here to Gillette Stadium, playing the same team again. The Dartmouth faithful had to be thinking, okay, so hard to get here. Can you possibly do it 2 years in a row? They put together a sensational season. And there they are on the same field that Tom Brady plays on here at Gillette Stadium. And Glory to Dartmouth is playing in the background. How about that, huh?
Your favorite song. I know you know the words to it. Dartmouth High School, 2 years in a row, have come to Foxborough and brought back a state championship to the great town that we live in. And that really is something to say. There's Rick White shaking hands with Coach Morris and going over to congratulate the Melrose team. And you talk about class, you got to talk about the Dartmouth High School athletic program overall, led by Jeff Caron. But Ricky White, what he's done, you have to remember Colin Lynch for 30 years. He was everything there was about athletics in town, a high school football Hall of Famer. And Ricky White's come in now. He's played in 2 Super Bowls and won them. Coached the last 2 for victories for Dartmouth High School.
Yeah, you go
climbing up the ladder of fame in the Dartmouth High School football program.
You're all the way back to 1983 and 1984. He's on the teams that won. They actually played at the old Foxborough Stadium back then in 1983 and 1984. Then he becomes the head coach of the Dartmouth Indians, leads the Jordan Todman team to the Super Bowl in 2007, came up short against Everett, but then back this year. Last year, 2014 victory, and then 2015 victory. So think about that. Rick White has been involved either as a player or a coach in 5 different Super Bowl appearances for the Dartmouth Indians with 4 victories and the 1 loss. And there you see him shaking hands with the people from Melrose. What a happy coach right there in Rick White. 2nd year in a row on the Patriots turf here in Foxborough with another Super Bowl championship for Dartmouth.
It's very, very difficult to go back-to-back championships in any sport, especially at the high school level. Last year they had a lot of seniors on the team. They went on to different endeavors. A lot of JV kids. There's 20 seniors on this varsity ball club. A new quarterback. Yes, they had Chris Martin, but the line is completely different than last year's team. And for this staff to integrate the kids that didn't play last year into this system, to go back, as you said, Middleborough beat them in the first game, to get all this together and go on a run, 8 in a row to finish the season, capping it off here with a Super Bowl victory by a score of 26 to 21.
You know, Smilac was talking to me about that on Media Day, where he came back this year and he's like, I got a whole different line here than I had last year, right? He's the only starting lineman. So all of a sudden he's looking around, these guys start playing, they start getting better, and he's thinking in the middle of the season, hey, I think we can make a move in the second half. And of course they do. And I got to go back. You never know who's going to make a great play. How about Matt Foley stripping Pedrini? The guy that we kept hearing about, Pedrini this and Pedrini that. And Matt Foley comes in and forces that fumble, which turned into a big touchdown for the Indians. Really turned the game around for Dartmouth.
No question about it. Your Dartmouth High School Indians. They're the champions. Division III high school football in the state of Massachusetts. Coach Zexter and the Dartmouth team now going for the post-game ceremonies. We'll have that all for you coming your way next, right here on Channel 9 DC TV. Congratulations, Dartmouth High School, state Super Bowl champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the MIA Football Committee, please join us in congratulating these 2 outstanding football programs from Dartmouth High School and Melrose High School.
Congratulations to both teams on getting this Division III state championship game. At this time, MIA President Dan King will present the state finalist trophy in Division III to the head coach and captains from Melrose High School. And now at this time, I'd like to call the head coach and captains from Dartmouth High School to step forward and bring some set in Division III.
Congratulations to both teams on an outstanding season. Thank you for your support of MIA football. Please drive home safely.
Chris Martin, we're here on the Postgame show. Chris, congratulations on a great game here. Congratulations, back-to-back Super Bowls. Didn't get in the 1 yard line the first time. They weren't going to stop you the second time.
Nope, just an amazing game today. Oh my God, can't even talk.
What was different as the game went along? Because they kept you out of the end zone a couple of times, but then you guys really started getting going.
Well, both teams kind of started off slow, and then we both progressed at the end of the game, and it was just a tough, hard-nosed football game, and the line opened up holes, and they just did their thing out there.
Let's talk a little bit of Sean Smilek over here. You guys on the offensive line doing the job all year. What was the difference as the game went along?
We started off really strong. Unfortunately, we weren't able to finish on the goal line, and we got a little sloppy in the middle, but luckily we were able to get it done at the end of the game and get those critical touchdowns to put us ahead.
Those guys were tough. They were hanging around. They changed the offense a little bit. They were throwing the ball around, but you guys still responded.
Yeah, it's all about doing the little things correct. I mean, we didn't plan for the Wildcat, but we were able to adapt. Everybody was able to just continue to do the job and come out on top.
How does it feel going back to back?
It's an amazing feeling. I'm so grateful for the players I had beside me that game. There'll always be people in my life. I'll always have these great memories to share with them, and I'm just so grateful for my teammates.
How does it feel defending the title?
It feels amazing. I've been playing with these kids since the 5th grade, since I can remember, and they became brothers to me, and they're just family. I'll remember these kids for the rest of my life. It's just great memories.
Hey, congratulations. Congratulations on your second Super Bowl championship. Hey, let's get Cole Jacobson in here. Cole, congratulations.
Thank you.
You stepped in at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
We didn't know who the quarterback was going to be. You were in the spot. You got more comfortable.
Yep.
And now this. How do you explain it?
It's insane. Words can't describe how I feel right now. It's insane. Oh.
Talk to me about this game. Obviously, a very tough Melrose team. They threw a few different wrinkles there as the game went along.
Yep.
What happened out there?
They had some big plays. They played really good. We just stuck in there. We just played our hearts out the whole entire game.
I talked a lot during the course of the season how in the Milton game, you really got your running going in the third quarter. Today you ran for that big 60-yard gain. What happened there?
We ran like an option game, and I just ran up the middle, and I just beat a few guys, and then I just unfortunately got taken out at the 3-yard line or something, but we put it in the next play, so it's all good. Obviously,
this year you were a real contributor at the quarterback position. What was it like going through the entire season and ending up here at Gillette Stadium?
It's insane. To play all season with these guys, it's just so much fun. They're all my best friends. I just love it. I love it.
Hey, congratulations on an outstanding year, and congratulations on the championship.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Matt Foley, come on over here.
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you. I know your brother. I know your family. I got to tell you, getting the ball from Pedrini, you knocked the ball out of his hands. It was one of the biggest plays of the game. What was going on out there?
I mean, that's been my role in the team all year. I've gotten in on defense a little bit, but all year my role, I mean, I've been on special teams. I've been kickoff, punt. Everyone on this team has their own role. Everyone does their own job. I know it was my turn to step up and make a play at this huge point in the season. I did what I had to do for my brothers.
I know as the game goes along, you hear a lot about players as the season goes along. We heard about a kid named Uva, then we heard about another guy named Pedrini, and then we heard all these different players. So here's Pedrini, probably their top player, 20 touchdowns on the season. He's returning that kickoff, and here comes you.
I mean, all year I've been going down. You just got to put your body on the line on hits like that. You got to jump in the pile, grab the ball. It's for the team. It's for the Dartmouth on front. It's for the Indian. No matter what you got to do, you got to put your body on the line for that team.
Of course, playing with your brother on the team, that must be a great thrill for you and the Foley family.
I mean, losing my dad and having only my mom up in the stands, me and Brendan always play for that Brian Foley. We always write his initials right on our wrist tape. It means everything, and I do everything for him. And having my mom up in the stands is excellent.
Brian was a great friend of mine. I'm really happy to see you guys succeeding here on the football field. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, Matt Foley making one of the big plays of the day on Pedrini, coughing up that ball. Pedrini this, Pedrini that. Here comes Foley. See you later.
Oh, absolutely. We have more action coming your way. Plenty of guests to go. We got Coach White right behind us. We'll be right back with more of the postgame show coming your way.
Next up on the post-game show, it is Jack Sullivan, a 17-yard touchdown reception today. Hey, what was going on out there? Obviously, you came through with a very nice touchdown reception to help the Dartmouth Indians.
I just knew we were behind, and our team just never gave up the whole time. We're just always fighting, coming back, and I just had to come down with that ball, and I did.
You know, in the first half, you guys got down deep into the red zone a couple of times, weren't able to punch it in. It felt like Melrose was kind of hanging around, but then you guys really delivered late in the game. What happened?
Yeah, we just talked about it in the locker room, how those situations we just have to push the line better, and then, as you see, we went goal line in the second half, and we pushed it in.
We thought maybe you had an interception or a fumble recovery there. What happened?
He got hit. I thought it was a fumble. I just picked it up and started running, and they called it back.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this Indian team. First game of the season, you guys are 0-1, right? You're coming off the Super Bowl. People are thinking, okay, kind of tough to get on a roll like last year. Something turned in the middle of the season. How did you end up here again?
Well, I think that loss was big for us, honestly, because that just made us bounce back and play harder. After the New Bedford game, we just all believed in each other, and we just came back. We did this. It's unbelievable.
In the fourth quarter, putting together that drive that got the 2-possession lead, caused Foley coming up with a fumble. Some big plays. You never know who's going to come up with a big play.
Yeah, you never know with our team. It's just a bunch of guys that like to play football.
How about playing with your brother? That's not bad.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I live with him in the same room, too, so always hearing him.
Hey, congratulations on a great Super Bowl victory.
Hey, thank you.
All right, we got Matt Craig over here. Matt, congratulations again. Obviously, back-to-back Super Bowls. Tell me about your thoughts on this Melrose game. They were a tough team. They hung around. But in the end, the Indians delivered.
They came out fire. We came out firing, scored right away. But we knew they weren't just going to give it up to us, and we knew they were going to play us hard. We were down at half. Coach really ripped us a new one in the thing. That controversial call, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean a game. You got to keep playing after that. And he pumped us up at halftime. We came out firing, and we know how to play when we're down. We never gave up. We kept fighting.
Well, everybody contributes in a game like this. We can talk about all the different teammates that contributed. But again, you're in a situation, fourth down. We needed a first down. Pass play to you. You delivered again.
Coach just trusts me, and I just got to do what I do for my team. Don't want to give the ball to the other teammate in the goal line. So I just work hard and focus on the ball.
We've talked about Dartmouth's defense all year. You guys are really stingy against the run. They tried to get some guys out there in the corner of the end zone. You guys, Espinola, yourself, some of the defense, the secondary, you were having none of the long pass too much.
Nope, we played them deep. Didn't let anyone get behind us. You know, they had a few, but they had a little bit of height, but that's all right. Last play, tipped it into the end zone. Just a bunch of focus, never giving up, and keeping our heads in it, and just winning the game.
How does it feel? Back-to-back Super Bowl championships for the Dartmouth Indians.
Unbelievable. I never thought I would be here winning back-to-back after watching Jordan and all them guys play here in 2007. It's just crazy and surreal that we just came here 2 years in a row and won it.
Well, Matt, congratulations from all of us in the town of Dartmouth. It's been a lot of fun watching you guys play. Congratulations on back-to-back Super Bowl championships.
Thank you.
All right, Matt Craig, one of the co-captains on this Dartmouth Indian team, and here is the head coach. Back-to-back Super Bowl championships for Mr. Rick White. This doesn't get old.
No, it doesn't. I'll tell you, I'm not going to lie. This is pretty cool. Big weight lifted off the shoulders there.
Well, before we get into this game, you started off the season 0-1. Really didn't know what to expect. You had to work a lot of the juniors in there. Smilak is looking around saying, I'm the only guy here on the line. Next thing you know, you get on a roll. What happened as the season went along?
Hey, the kids just got some game experience. They bought into what we were doing, improved every week, worked real hard in practice, and like a kid like Cole, you saw him make the big play tonight when he had to, and so it became a very cohesive team. These guys would do anything for each other at this point in the season. So everybody was on the same page tonight, coaches included, and it was a great team win for Dartmouth High School.
Obviously, Melrose, a tough team. You guys had the second and the third possession after scoring the touchdown 2 times, not being able to punch it in. Obviously, you responded after that. What was going on there?
Yeah, it was tough. We had the ball in the red zone on the 1 going in, and we thought we'd be able to punch it in. Maybe we were a little stubborn there to believe that, but they give their defense credit. Tim Morris is their defensive coordinator, their head coach, so he stuffed us there, and we missed the field goal in the red zone. We thought that was going to really come back to hurt us, and told the kids at halftime, hey, got no adjustments to make. This comes down to will, and whoever wants this game more is going to win it. So we get, you guys got to lay it all out there, and they certainly did in the second half.
You never know who's going to make a big play in the game. Of course, Martin ended up with his 3 touchdowns. Sullivan with a touchdown reception. The quarterback running that 60-yard run, of course, which is big.
Yeah,
but how about
we should have been running that play all year. First time we ran it.
I really like that one. I like that one. But how about the play of Matt Foley forcing that fumble? What a big play.
He's a missile on the kickoff team. We get to score. He comes down. falls on the ball, we get a big stick, we get the ball back. That's a huge game. That was the play of the game, in my opinion. Changed the whole game.
I've known this guy a long time. I thought somebody else would give me a heart attack in my life, but you're doing a darn good job of it, young man.
I apologize.
I just can't say enough about I said at the end of the game, hats off to your entire coaching staff and the athletic department overall. You win with class, you do it right, and it showed here again today, Paul, that it's just a tremendous staff. And for these kids, we talked to Smilax, a whole different gang of people, a whole bunch of young kids.
Not too many starters from last year.
And for you to put all this together and just watching Chris Martin. But I think Jacobson, of all the players on the team this year that I enjoyed watching, and we talked about it earlier in the season, he just matured right in front of our very eyes. And a big play in this ball game, I had mentioned that you were taking Chris Martin out, and I was saying to myself, you did it a couple of times, and I said, it's a different formation, and all of a sudden Jacobson's running 60 yards down the field.
Yeah, we had to draw him with Alex there, and he's reading that, and Tiz takes it to the sideline, and he just rides him, and then he pulled it at the right time, and he was gone. They all jumped on Tiz, and what a great run after contact, too. He had big yards there and got us inside the 5, and then we punched it in. So.
Hey, you got 2 Super Bowl championships as a player in 1983, 1984.
Yeah.
Now you got back-to-back championships as a coach. I mean, winning it as a coach, is it as good as a player?
Absolutely. It's been pretty important in my life. Some guys do a lot of things. It's what I chose to do. So, it means as much to me now as it did then. And we're happy to represent 82, 83, 84, 2007, 2014, and every single team that we've coached. It's our kids, and it's a great profession, and we built some really great relationships, and that's why we do it. But no tougher kids in the world.
And we've been very blessed to be part of this for many years, but the last 2 years, Rick, congratulations.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a safe
ride home. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, so back-to-back Super Bowl championships for the Dartmouth Indians. I don't think anybody could have predicted it at the beginning of the season, but when you look at the athletes out there, the way this group came together, you talk about Jacobson and the rest of the linemen. I mean, what a season for the Indians to do it back-to-back.
Oh, it's incredible to watch these young kids, 17, 18-year-old kids, up here on the stairs singing Glory to Dartmouth and jumping on the stage like crazy young kids should after a big victory. It's just a lot of hard work. It's a lot of practice. It's lifting weights back in the summer and preparing for the season. And you've said many times during the telecast that Dartmouth wears teams out. And you saw it here in the fourth quarter. I think Melrose was just about out of gas, and Dartmouth had their foot still on the gas. And I think that was their season. They were in great shape, and they always were in a position to win the game. And they made plays when they have to. Although in the first half of this game, I thought they had a lot of missed opportunities. But keeping those remarks, that's what led them to the victory. Because even when they couldn't capitalize on what should have been easy scores for them, they never gave up. They got up off the turf. Melrose came down, took the lead. Dartmouth never gave up. And that is what this coaching staff's about. That's what this team is about. And that leads you to where we are here today in Foxborough once again as Super Bowl champions.
Well, it was great to have Jimmy Wilkins down on the sidelines, our sideline reporter here down on the Foxborough turf. And I know you did some great reporting for us on the sideline. How did you see the game from so close up?
I'll tell you, it's different right there. It's kind of in your face, and sometimes you don't always see everything like you can see from the over-top view. But I definitely got a good look at that call that was called incomplete in the first quarter. And let me tell you, that was a catch and a fumble. I don't know what that guy was seeing, but I wish we had a challenge flag. But other than that, it was a tremendous atmosphere, a tremendous, way to look at the game. It gives you a totally different perspective of the game. You kind of get that player's eye view. But just a tremendous game all around, and what a comeback, what a comeback.
Well, it was great working with you gentlemen all season, and you, Mr. Thompson, thank you for having me on board here for this year's Dartmouth High School football.
Well, it's great to have young Jimmy Wilkins with us, and Paul, it's great to have you alongside. And for everyone associated with this telecast of Dartmouth High School football, hats off to Peter Chase and Derek Freitz and all the camera people, audio people, the athletic department at the high school. It's just been a fantastic run. The Indians, Super Bowl champions again, back-to-back. They defeat Melrose today by a score of 26-21. For everyone associated with this telecast of Indian football, I'm Jim Thompson. Until next time, so long, everybody.